Hey, you got any problem with James being the judge?
Nah.
Sarah, any problem with James being the judge?
Nope.
All right.
Yeah.
We're a little bit on a timer here. James only has about 3 hours and a half for this entire thing, given the fact that he's going to be a tryhard in the music career. So we kind of got to move this on a little bit quickly. All right, then we're good. Nobody that isn't allowed to type in there can't type. Cool. Lion, if you want to give some amazing speech to start this off, shoot.
Fuck around and find out.
Okay.
I've got to ask a few questions before the debate over who wins this versus battle starts.
Please go ahead, James.
Where does the fight take place? Neutral place?
Neutral ground.
Neutral ground? Day or night? Is that can matter?
I believe
What
it.
do we mean-
Me
what do we
personally, I
mean by,
believe it should be nighttime, given the fact that most of these characters are shown in their comics to perform at nighttime. So I believe it would be disanalogous to the characters to remove that from all of them.
Wait,
Really?
can I say something really quick? Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
have a connection with that.
Yeah.
So the only people who are mainly at night would be Batman and Moon Knight. Deathstroke operates in the daytime all the time, and so does T'Challa.
That's
So I feel
very
like-
interesting because when it comes to actual Black Panther, he's shown to flip-flop between, and when it's shown to Deathstroke, especially his major appearances, which would be normally in the Batman comics, their battles either tend to span from evening to night or from night to morning.
Okay.
Interesting.
So let's
Grab that
let's
too,
just,
actually.
let's just
could-
agree. Are we fine with night then?
Night.
Okay. Is there? I'm guessing we're using their consistent forms, not their strongest.
Consistency.
Correct.
Yep, they're consistent forms. So, all right, from there, I think I need to know everything I need to know. Are they bloodlusted? That's the last part.
Yeah,
They're fighting to kill.
I would assume so.
I thought we were going to do what VSBW usually does, which is willing to kill but not bloodlusted.
Yeah, willing to kill but in character.
Yeah, willing to kill but in character. I believe that's the most logical assertion to take here.
Mhm. The only reason that happens is because some characters just go straight to blowing up planets, which is why that's the reason that will exist.
And I believe willing to kill. I believe that willing to kill. Being bloodlusted for somebody like Black Panther and Moon Knight and Batman and all them. I believe that takes away from the actual property of this debate. After all, we're still going not only skill for skill, martial arts for martial arts, category for category. We're also going character for character here. So we shouldn't take away from their flaws and or strengths.
I'm fine with either scenario. It's more of a voting.
I'm actually fine with that. I'm fine with that. So willing to kill, but in character, that's fine.
Yeah.
Related, any problem with that?
I don't have a problem with that.
Sarah, any problem with that?
Wait, can I ask a question? Because in regards to Batman, that would just technically make him bloodlusted because Batman's never really willing to kill. So wouldn't that?
I mean, that could
be
be-
I'd actually disagree with that.
But-
We've seen him kill things that are quote unquote not alive before, not properly alive, and he has
Well,
seen
bloodlust.
I meant humans. Obviously, I
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah, but once again, you said we've
I
never
want to
seen him.
interject
I know
real
what you
quick.
mean
Do
in
not
that
forget
instance.
that James. Hold on. Do not forget that James has 3 hours. Y'all need
He
to lock
does.
this
Yeah.
down so y'all can.
right,
This
you're
can
right.
this
Go
can
ahead,
be
James.
argued actually in the debate. So let's just leave it to that. Are we good to start then? Are we good to start?
And real quick, hold on, James. You said every hour you losing $60, right?
Every hour past 3.
Yeah, I'd be damned. Y'all better hurry the hell up. I'd be damned if he miss out on some money.
Don't worry, Lion said he'll reimburse you. No.
Oh,
No.
what?
No. I was taking it out of Azazel's cash. No, I'm joking.
Hey, hold on now.
I do not
But,
know what happened to that thing, but okay.
But yeah, are we all good to start? Do you need me to flip a coin?
I'm fine.
Who wants to start first?
I'm gonna give it to Kay. As in this is not necessarily a rematch between he and I, but in our previous battle, I started first, and I won that battle. So
Wait, no, I started first. I started first last time. You can start first this time. I don't want to start first.
Okay. All right. Heads or tails? Someone say heads or tails.
He said fair.
I'll take heads. I'll take heads.
heads.
Okay.
All right, tails. Tails, I guess.
All right. Kay, you won the flip. What do you start first or start second? Your choice.
Start second.
All right.
I would go for 2 out of 3, but I'm a not. Related, how you want to do it?
Which category do you want to attack first, AP or speed?
I'd like to do speed.
All right.
What form is speed?
We're going to
You
be
said,
going with both combat speed as well as reaction speed.
yeah,
I
I
believe that
figured
both of
that
those,
was normal.
Yeah,
yeah,
correct.
the two of those things do play off hand in hand. So I see no reason not to go ahead and knock them out both. One moment, please.
Okay. So for speed, let me see what I can establish off rip here. If I would have known that I'm starting with Moon Knight first, I probably would have started with something similar to AP. Actually, yeah, no. If I'm starting first, I will start with AP. I like AP better. Okay, so for the AP of Moon Knight, I think I'll keep it real simple. Kay, Sarah, are you aware of the comic run Moon Knight Back in Blood?
Black, White, and Blood.
Black,
Yeah.
White, and Blood. Yeah, my bad. Okay, so you're aware that I
Correct.
believe it was in issue 3 or issue 2. We see that not only do they have durability feats that, by the way, this is complete and totally irrelevant. I'm just preferencing it ahead of time. They have
Wait, hold on.
durability feats of fighting
You
Juggernaut, but
lagged
they
a little
have
bit.
cool. Under a Khonshu
Yeah,
possessed Moon Knight, they were able to knock out the Juggernaut. You're aware that's correct?
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Cool. So I believe for preference of AP, I think that's a good place to start. And if you want to quantify this, we can always get into the feats of what the Juggernaut has done, if that's what you want to do. Or do you want to try to match this?
Hold on. I have a question real quick, because like, are we able to bounce off of each other's arguments like in this, or like, is it like?
Or indeed able to either help each other with backing up scans, and you also, by the way, this is just off what I want. Related. If you disagree with this, you are perfectly fine to jump in.
Yeah, no, I was just making sure because I didn't want to.
Let me then just so that we all know in advance. This is what my understanding is. Kay will present his argument for AP. I will present my argument for AP. You guys will be able to refute at that point, and that's the nature of what I expected us to be doing. I'm of the impression that what Kay was asking is if he can bounce in based off what you're saying right away, or maybe I'm wrong.
No, I meant like,
me personally, I'm fine with that, but it's up to him.
I meant like, could I bounce off of Sarah, or like, obviously, like if he asks me a question, then like I should be able to answer. You feel me? But like, if he's like actually like trying to explain something, I won't cut him off. But if he asks me a question,
of course,
right
I don't
now,
see any reason for you guys not to support each other, but I do think that it would be best for all of us, especially our singular judge, that we establish premise and argument separately and concisely, so that he knows exactly what we're trying to say, instead of
I'm writing everything down, bro. I'm writing everything. I remember.
Then actually, it's up to you, then, Mr. Daly. How do you want us to do it? Like, you want us to establish one-on-one, or do you don't care if we talk?
It's really on the choice of y'all. For example, if you want to do a singular, I feel like y'all should stick to a group premise. So Comics and Azazel can't have like different premises, because that defeats the purpose of the debate, and the same vice versa. But remember, in a group debate, and the thing I should probably make sure to remind both of you and everyone is y'all are practically debating as one entity. So y'all can easily contradict each other. So just remember that. That's probably the best thing I can say. Since y'all debate as one entity, one team in this instance.
But yeah, if we're moving back to progression now, I just once again, how do you want to do this, Kay? Because right now I can just present this and we can go down a weird Juggernaut chain scale, or you can just preference something that you think would be equal in AP to this right now.
Sarah, what do you think?
If he is this his only feat, or does he want to continue showing more AP?
I can show more. However, with this being done right here, I do believe. What James said right now, I'll just establish a basic premise for this point at least. I believe, based off what's shown, Moon Knight has either equal to or stronger AP than Batman and Slade, I believe. So yeah, that's the basis premise that I have right now. And right now, with this feat alone, I believe this alone is enough to fulfill my premise. If you guys cannot match or overtake this.
Okay. So I mean, I could provide a feat for you, I guess. Then hold on.
One moment, please. Let me go ahead and establish. Let me go ahead and finish up our side. and then you guys will be allowed to refute if that's okay.
Yeah. Let's just
My
do it
bad,
that
go
way.
ahead.
You guys finish up, and then we'll refute, and then we'll say our argument, and then, yeah, we'll just do it that way. You guys can finish.
Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to obviously piggyback off of the premise already established and just kind of make it a little bit more concise in that it is my position that not only are Black Panther and Moon Knight stronger than what Slade and Batman are in general, but they have the ability to ensure that they hit significantly harder in both blunt force and edged weapons. So, damn, where the hell is that thread at?
Are we combining strength into this category too?
I don't think that when I said that they hit harder, I'm just talking about the maximum damage that they can put out, the how hard they hit. Obviously,
No, I know,
from
but
time to time,
you said that he's stronger. That's why I was wondering if we were comparing strength in this as well. Because you
forgive
started off
the
by
forgive
saying
the
that
poor- forgive
both
the
of them are
poor
stronger.
phrasing. I apologize for that. It's poor phrasing on my part. That what I'm trying to communicate is his striking power, his overall attack potency is higher. Black Panthers and Moon Knights is higher than both in general. However, they have consistent abilities that are within them from not only their connection to gods, but technology that amplify their overall attack power to regardless be significantly higher than both than both Slade and Bruce. So despite what Slade and Bruce might be capable of, I do not believe they can consistently match the overall AP of Moon Knight and Black.
I just want to preference this really quickly. I do believe when Juggernaut was knocked out in that panel that it was during the daytime. I have reason to believe it was during the daytime also. And if you know anything about Moon Knight, then you know that matters a lot.
Do you have the issue?
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah,
Moon Knight,
I
Black, White,
stated
and Blood
the
number
issue.
2.
Yeah, I stated the
send
issue
it to
earlier.
me. Yeah,
I'm
hold on 1 second.
What
We're in
was
event
it?
ends.
Issue 2, Moon Knight, Black, White, and Blood.
Sarah, do you want to contend now, or do you want to just wait until they're done?
Wait
I'd
until
actually like a
done.
contention on this now if you guys have a contention with it.
No, we're just gonna wait till you guys are all done.
That isn't exactly what the preference within the questions that I preferenced, but related. If you want to do something real quick, go ahead.
Okay, so let's start with this real quick in regards to general striking power from characters like Black Panther. Send this one. I would like to send them as a group, but it's irritating to me that it's not letting me do that. We see that in this particular instance, that Black Panther can either strike regularly or he can empower his strikes against characters that are particularly powerful, like the mindless ones. And we are aware that the mindless ones, just for reference of exactly what they're capable of, have stood up to characters like Ben Grimm the Thing. When we look at non-empowered strikes, we know that Black Panther is able to, with his striking power or with his claws, hurt characters that are as powerful and durable as Thanos, as Cole Obsidian. Even in his early appearances prior to when he was King of the Dead, he was able to do damage to characters like Spider-Man. However, now that he's now that he is King of the Dead with a more enhanced suit.
Hey, can you reiterate that one time for me? Just make
Say
sure
that
I
one more time,
remember.
sir.
Can you reiterate that for me?
What I was saying is that above what I've demonstrated is that, let me just look back at the scan so that I can say it as I said it before, or at least as close to it. That in the scans that I sent, we see that Black Panther is not empowering his strikes. Some of them are blunt force damage, and other of them are edged because the claws are a part of his hands consistently. We see that Black Panther, without empowering his strikes, is able to hurt characters as durable as Thanos, Cole Obsidian, and even in his earliest appearances, he was already strong enough to do damage to characters like Spider-Man. But now, when we know that his current suit, a newer model, which is nanotech, has the ability to amplify his overall base stats. And I sent that scan into the server so you guys can see it. We know that he's able to do damage to characters. And I will send them out. There's got to be a faster way for me to do this.
After this one assertion, I want to give Kay and Sarah a chance to respond because it's been like
Absolutely.
4 or 5. There's been like 4 or 5 assertions.
In defense, I did try to get them to respond to what I originally put forward, James.
Yeah,
I want to put that on record.
It's only because there's now 4 different scaling arguments, or 5 different scaling arguments that Neva responded to, and so I don't want it to get too out of hand.
I understand. Though I do believe that what I'm putting forth all supports the exact same premise and the exact same argument. And that what I put out there right now is that Black Panther is able to enhance his striking power, whether it be blunt forced or edged. And we see that he's able to do damage to characters like Namor the Submariner, like Perfect Sentry, and like the Immortal Hulk. So the overall premise that I'm trying to argue and support is that at base, Black Panther and Moon Knight hit harder than what Slade and Bruce do. But even if they were to somehow suggest that the base striking power, the base AP, I should say, is similar or relative, Black Panther and Moon Knight have consistent ways within their very body and technology to amplify their striking power to something that is beyond what Slade and Bruce will be able to handle.
Okay. Kay, Sarah, do you have anything to say against the basic scaling for Moon Knight and Black Panther being put forward, or the basic place they've been put?
Sarah, you can start it off. I'll just bounce off of you.
Okay, so for the Juggernaut scan, excuse me. Khonshu is in his body, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Is that a problem?
No, I just do not believe he actually has Khonshu anymore. So give me a second.
He actually does. So allow me to go over this. Moon Knight, Black White
Azazel.
Blood.
Azazel.
Oh,
wait,
my
yeah,
bad. That was
yeah,
a whole verbatim claim. My bad. After somebody makes a claim, it's usually something that needs to be addressed.
Okay. Wait, is that give a chance to share what she said?
No, I'm quiet. It's good. I'd like there was a whole stop after that. That's my bad.
Oh shoot, where is it? Did I delete it? No, I didn't.
What scan are you looking for? I'll find it for you if you need it.
No, I have it.
Okay.
I'm gonna say like 7 minutes. 7 minutes seems fair to find the like 7
To find the
10
scan that
minutes.
she's looking for.
Yeah, 10 if it's like super obscure and like to an extreme extent, but 7 would be a general.
Also, I just have a question again. I just want to make sure like fully understanding what's going on. So right now we're just making our like reputations or like our contentions with the scans that are being presented, and then we're going to go into our argument and our premise. Correct?
Yep. You're gonna provide your rebuttals to their stuff, and then you can go into your point. Because this is about Moon Knight and Black Panther's AP. This is what this point is about.
Got you. That's perfect. All right.
Okay, so
Also, CR, quick question.
Yes, sir.
The panel where T'Challa is about to punch Call Obsidian, can you send what happens right after that? Because it doesn't look like he actually punches anything yet.
I will send that to you. However, if you would like to know exactly what happens after that, in that particular run, after that collision, it goes somewhere else, like it cuts away from the battle. And when the battle is finished, Cole Obsidian is wrecked. But I am absolutely willing to go and source that for you and provide to you exactly what happens if that is what you would like me to do.
I would
Cole
like you to do that,
Obsidian
please.
retreat. He just leaves. No, I was just saying that for Kay, you don't really have to substantiate because I can confirm that Cold Obsidian just leaves.
I still want him to
Unless
send the scan.
yeah, if you want the scan anyway.
Yeah,
Okay,
I want to
no
see.
problem.
Sarah, you mind if I just start contending while you look for whatever you're looking for?
Oh, I already sent it, but if you want to contend the other stuff, then you can. So we can
Oh,
just
okay.
get through all the contentions at once.
So Azazel, just to kind of emphasize on what Sarah was saying about Moon Knight having Khonshu, I don't think she necessarily meant that he can't access Khonshu. I think she was referring to the fact that Khonshu is in prison right now, as you can see in this scan. So if any of the fists of Khonshu die, he will not be able to resurrect them at this current moment in time because he's imprisoned. That's what she was referencing. So like even like the scan where you sent Juggernaut and Khonshu completely takes over Moon Knight's entire body, which is something that we don't also consistently see happen with Moon Knight's character. But yeah, stuff like that wouldn't be able to happen at this current point in time because again, Khonshu is in prison. So Moon Knight would not have access to abilities like that, which granted him this AP2 knockout Juggernaut in the first place. Because that's not normally what Moon Knight can do. And Khonshu in the scan even says, I convinced him otherwise. Well, I convinced him otherwise in regards to Juggernaut, implying that Khonshu was the one who physically hit Juggernaut in the first place. So again, that wouldn't really apply to Mark Spector. And again, like I said, he doesn't really have that same ability at this current point in time because Khonshu is arrested, or not arrested, in prison. Sorry.
So after that, the scan that you sent before the Juggernaut one, or after, after that one. I believe, of course I could be wrong, so correct me if I am, but I believe you said that this was supposed to substantiate that this was in the day, but I don't see how that
I
substantiates it
never
at
gave
all.
my reasoning for it, so it wouldn't be substantiating it by
Well,
itself.
yeah, that makes sense because it genuinely doesn't make sense right now. So there you go, right? Before I continue,
That's a
Kay, do
non-defeater.
you move on, or should I continue?
Wait, what'd you say?
Do you want to debunk anything else, or should I continue?
No, you could go for it. Go ahead.
Okay, comics related. The first one that you sent, Kat, are these the same things that you're saying that Ben Grimm is going against?
Those are mindless ones, yes.
The ones he's amping his punches for?
I don't think I understand your question. Let me repeat it back to you. Are you asking me whether or not the mindless ones are they the same? Ben Grimm and Black Panther they were both fighting mindless ones, or are you asking me if that happened at the exact same time?
No. So the first one that you sent, where Black Panther is fighting three of them, they don't look the same, like at all. So I was just asking if they're literally the same creatures or if they're two different feats.
They are all mindless ones. The first two things prior to Ben Grimm. Occasionally, the mindless ones are illustrated slightly different. I can show you other illustrations of the mindless ones if you like. They keep the fundamental illustration, but occasionally they do look different.
Okay. Well, do you have a statement that these are mindless ones or an implication or whatever for the first game?
Sure. One moment.
Okay. As you're doing that, I would say that for the mindless ones, taking hits from Ben Grimm is good. You know, obviously, but I don't. They just took hits from them, so I wouldn't say that they're going like hand to hand or like not hand to hand, but toe to toe with the thing. I don't know why Azazel says that. So
Wait,
he'll
I'm
explain.
curious, just so I can understand. It doesn't seem like what you're saying actually addresses my argument, because you're right now you're saying that it doesn't seem like they were going toe to toe, which is not an argument that I was making. What I was demonstrating is that they could sustain punches from Ben Grimm and not be immediately flatlined, as Ben Grimm is quite powerful, doing battle with characters like the Juggernaut, the Hulk, Silver Surfer, etc. So any character that could take a shot from Ben Grimm obviously has pretty high durability. And I'm also demonstrating that Black Panther is able to damage characters of said durability. Not that those things were going one-on-one or toe-to-toe, as you said, with Ben Grimm.
Okay, great. Excuse me. where's do you have the next panel of okay, so the second mindless one that with the Avengers, do you have the second scan afterward? After the
Let me go
punch?
back and
I
look
mean,
at the exactly that's the thread that you're talking about, so I can know exactly what you're asking me for. Because whichever things that you would like me to get, I will go back and get them for you. So what you're asking for specifically is you would like to know, though, in the first panel, if there are actually.
Also,
I
CR.
apologize.
Also, what
I
comic? What
apologize.
comic is that? Where
One moment, please, sir.
T'Challa?
One moment, please, sir. One moment, please, sir.
Yeah, my fault.
The first scan that I sent you, that was a mistake. I apologize. I'd like to acknowledge and own up to that first. The first creatures, those are stone golems. That was a mistake. I did send the
Okay.
mindless ones in the second scan. So
Okay.
it's the second scan where
Okay.
you see Black Panther attacking the mindless ones. So I do apologize for that. That was an error on my part. I was trying to, that was supposed to be used to establish more of T'Challa's striking power. But I will go and get the next scans for you where the Avengers are fighting the mindless ones, if that is what you would like. It will
Yeah,
take me
yeah.
just a little bit because I'm getting all of the scans for Kay in regards to him, Black Panther versus Cole Obsidian.
Okay, that's good.
No problem. Also, CR, do you know the?
I have to intervene here. Technically, CR can't be held to two burdens. So, realistically, what we'll have to do is that K's one will have to be either steelmanned and the point would have to come back later, or vice versa. Because at the end of the day, you can't hold people with two burdens because then it's pretty much just been burden proof to a non-existing extent. So it's like telling people to prove multiple things at once is hard. So one would have to wait a second.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just wait for him to send.
So we'll circle back to K after the Sarah stuff.
Okay. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm providing the follow-up context for Cole Obsidian. Is that correct?
That would be my issue. If you want to, we could do my issue first and then address Sarah afterwards. If that works, James.
Yeah.
I asked him to find the. Actually, CR, if you have the comic name and issue, I could just find it real quick.
Sure, I have it, but I'm in the process of downloading those scans right now. It's literally that my phone is not very fast.
I think Sarah should just finish her point personally.
So like,
as soon as Sarah finishes her point, we can preference back down to the Moon Knight thing, which is brought up now. Because right now, a bunch of burdens are being brought up. That's why I kind of want to smack this out one by one, but we can do this too. It's just going to make it a little bit harder since several burdens can't be placed on one person. Sarah, do you have anything else you want to address before I go into my refutation stage?
So King Lion's addressing his stuff, right? Okay.
My brother's doing what?
Lion, don't please. No. I'm pretty sure that was a misspeak on her behalf. She meant comics.
I know. I was being funny. I found it impressive that my brother managed to start to get involved in this debate and he ain't even doing nothing.
Okay. Remember, preference, friendliness.
That is my bad.
So, Sarah, do you have anything else you'd like to try to debunk?
The Spider-Man attack, he didn't harm him. So
man,
he tackled him.
You gotta hold on. You gotta hold on to that. Related. Same way I had to hold on to my response to the Moon Knight. We gotta hold it until they done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I don't believe. So he tackled him. Okay. I don't think that would constitute as hurting him. So I would need substantiation for that, like the next page or whatever. If you want to, okay, no, I'm not even gonna say that. What did you send? I'm sorry, you don't have to reiterate the argument, but what did you send the Black Panther scan for? I mean,
I sent a number of them.
The one with Namor.
Specific. Pardon me?
I'm sorry. I mean the specifically the one with Namor.
The one with Namor is again to establish the fact that Black Panther is able to amplify his striking power to do damage to characters like Namor. Also, Kay, if you check the thread,
Yeah.
you will
I see
you'll see that I sent it to you panel for panel. The Cole Obsidian image happened first, and then everything else happened afterwards, and then Cole Obsidian leaves.
Okay, so just to like clarify, was your premise
Hold on,
that he?
okay, you can't if this is about what he just sent and what you guys are on right now, that was the point that was being withheld by James at the moment.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
this is the I need to point this out so you, the mistake doesn't happen again because it might just happen again. Technically, CR didn't need to post these, and technically, Kay doesn't have a position to argue against them.
That is also true. He's supposed to be backing up Sarah at the moment.
Because Sarah agreed this was what happened and pointed it out.
Correct.
About
No, but that wasn't I wasn't saying that that's not what happened. I just wanted to like position my argument essentially.
James was saying that was irrelevant due to the waste of time because he is on. Remember, he's
no,
on
it's fine. It's
keyframes.
fine. We got time. We got time.
You say that,
Okay.
James, but we've been here for a minute. Sarah, anything else?
Am I allowed to go, or is Sarah going? Like, what's going on?
I just want to
Sarah
finish up
has
this
just
last one on
presented
mine.
things. James, wouldn't it be two burdens? Or if Kay started another point, wouldn't that be two burdens on both of us?
I mean, it matters if she's who's arguing with who.
It'd be Kay now providing his debunk to either
personally, Kay, I just wait till Sarah finishes this last little thing, and then just go back.
Yeah, we'll
just so it doesn't get confusing.
No problem.
Okay, so I don't want to like give you too many things to do at once, comics related, but I would like the full panel of Black Panther scratching Thanos.
You would like the full panel of Black Panther scratching Thanos? Sure.
Yeah.
Give me one moment. Judge, do you mind if I go ahead and address because she already mentioned it? If I go ahead and address something else that she asked about?
Sure. If it was already pre-mentioned.
She mentioned that she doesn't believe that Black Panther hurt Spider-Man.
Yeah, probably go with that first. That was mentioned earlier.
So there, she can go ahead and read the next panel where Spider-Man says, "Ow." So
okay.
With that being said, we can establish that Black Panther absolutely hurt Spider-Man. Okay. I'll go ahead and try to find the deal with Thanos real quick. I remember where that's from.
So that will put T'Challa's AP at a oak tree, I believe.
No, I think that would be rather silly because Spider-Man on a number of occasions has done battle with particularly powerful characters like Colossus and Juggernaut. He just made a metaphor about it being an oak tree.
Oh, so never mind. Okay. So he staggered Spider-Man. My bad.
Hey, no. Go ahead, Superman.
My bad.
Take it at base value. Take it a statement. Let's go.
Hell yeah, we are in there. This shit is over with.
Is that all? Am I finally allowed to refute?
I would like to allow for for Azazel to speak because it will take me just a little bit to get the full panel with Thanos. I do know where it's at. It just will take me.
So prefer to be to speak. I'd love that also.
Nah, you're not allowed to speak, Azazel.
Damn it.
I got.
Am I free, James? We got to wait for you. Come on, James.
I said go on.
It's called being petty, James. All right, so let's address this. One, James earlier during the debate did say that you two could contradict each other and that we should be able to capitalize off that. So what Sarah originally said, the verbatim statement, was that Mark does not have Khonshu. This was later contradicted by Kay, saying that it's not that he could not access or gain this power, it's just that he did not have it at this moment. And I'd like to call out there. I'd like to call out this, and I'd like to bring this presently to the stage. This is either misinformation.
You cut out.
Did he cut out? Did he cut out?
R.I.P. I think we should disqualify Azazel for that.
I got conned off stage for a second, but like I was saying, either information on you guys' part, or maybe dishonesty, or maybe something else. But Khonshu was not free at the moment this was done. The Juggernaut feat, because if you actually read Moon Knight, Black, White, and Blood. If you go to the very last issue that was aired so far, issue 4, it literally continues in the current Moon Knight run. After Mark Spector and them had already amended and started to work together again, aka Stephen Grant, Jake Lockley, Mark Spector. Khonshu has now been added to this fray, allowing them all to shift who controls the body. This was something that was a major piece in the story that was applied in Moon Knight, the 2021 run that ran to 2023. So like I said, that was either misinformation or dishonesty.
Where's the
I don't
scan?
care for either. I'm about to show it right now.
You said,
Okay.
yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, this is Moon Knight, Black, White, and Blood, issue 4. It quite literally says Moon Knight's adventures continue in Moon Knight, issue 15. This was at the end of the comic. Will it send? Will it send? Will it send? There it will. And when we pick up in issue 15, if you're aware of it, issue 15 is after we get the amendment between Jake Lockley, Stephen Grant, and them, aka after Moon Knight refuses to kill. After Stephen Grant takes over Mark's body, refusing to kill Zodiac in front of Reese. When they made amends was in issue 14, and at the end of issue 14, we see they start to switch out control. And in issue 15 itself, we see that they're working in collaboration. So if it's picked up, that means Khonshu was still sealed when this was done. It's not only everything you guys have just said, but this would also be giving back to the fact that, based off Kay's statement earlier, that Moon Knight would be doing this without the full extent of Khonshu's power. So, with that being established, this not only upscales Moon Knight in this instance, but it would also make it way easier for me to say that this was not his full capabilities of power. And within the range of this being at daytime, in the background of that comic of the very first Juggernaut panel, when we skip to the flashback of Khonshu fighting Juggernaut, we see that it is light outside. And we know it's light outside and not dark because in this comic, when it's day and nighttime, such as the second panel that I sent, it is distributed and it's distinguished via a bright background and a dark background. And this is consistent in the comic, which I sent later, tagging that exact same scan. So, with that being once again proven consistency, that means that was done during daytime, not nighttime when Moon Knight gets his amps. Kay, to address what you said, how what's it called? How Khonshu said that he's the one who convinced him. I don't know if you were purposely leaving this out or if you did not read it. He literally says the latest challenge was unworthy of my avatar's attention. Not saying that Khonshu needed to do it or he felt the need to do it. No, it was unworthy of Mark Spector. It was unworthy of Stephen Grant, Jake Lockley, etc., etc. He was deeming it lesser to them, which would be once again an upscaling to him. So, with that being established, related, if you want to go on yours, or if Sarah and Kay, you guys decide to want to try to refute what I said, go ahead.
Depends on if the
well,
wants to continue.
I'll just go ahead. I'll just go ahead and
wait
give her the thing that she was asking for. She asked for the full panel of Black Panther being able to do damage to Thanos with his claws without them being empowered. And from Ultimates 8, we see that the Avengers were attacking Thanos, and one by one, they were putting hands on him. And you can see Black Panther put hands on him there.
Okay, Azazel, did you have something else to say?
No, I'm waiting. Quite frankly, I'm waiting for the response to what I just presented. So I don't really have anything else to say until then.
Okay, so the one that I showed is from issue 19. So again, I want to reiterate that my Khonshu being in prison and unable to help Mark is more recent than them rectifying their relationship in what you, I believe, said was 15 or 16. I'm not sure.
That is another non-defeater that you have presented now. But go ahead.
Would be before mine. So the evidence that Khonshu was in prison and cannot help Mark would be more recent on my part. And for Ultimate 8, as you can see, Thanos is being blitzed basically by a bunch of people through a flurry of attacks, meaning he would be unable to be on guard for the next attack. So, I'd rather explain. So
Wait,
when you're suffering a bunch of hits, yeah, I'm literally restarting.
James, would you rather I address that now and why it's a non-defeater? That way, if it is, it can be re-preferenced.
Let her finish the point.
That was me trying to be courteous, but okay.
Yeah, you're so courteous as able.
Yes, me being courteous and giving you a second chance instead of taking that. Nah, James, just for that,
So,
I'm going to take away all courtesy that I was going to administer.
Black Panther hitting Thanos comes after a flurry of attacks, leaving him unable to prepare for the next one as he's just repeatedly getting blitzed over and over. And of course, if you cannot prepare for your next attack, you're off guard. You cannot prepare for the next attack. So Black Panther is hitting an off guard Thanos. In relation to
what
that.
were you thinking?
Right.
Oh wait, no, Kate. Yeah, I already presented that. So yeah, I refuted Azazel and Thanos.
Okay, allow me to tell you why you didn't. So the reason why you exactly what you said, aka issue 19 coming after 15, you somehow presented that as a defeater when it would not be. These two pieces of information, as I said, would be working together. That means that a weakened Khonshu, a waning power Khonshu, with a weakened connection to Mark since he was still imprisoned, was able to knock out the Juggernaut. And what Kay said is that Moon Knight is able to draw upon these powers. I can prove that in this run, you can strengthen Khonshu's connection via praying to him if you want. Matter of fact,
Kay
I'll
said
still
that?
do that. I'll still prove that, which
I don't
happens in
think
this
that's
exact
right.
same run.
I'm
You
sorry,
said,
what did Kay say?
Kay, word
Am
for
I allowed
word,
to-
you said that what she meant was that Moon Knight, that it's not that Moon Knight did not have Khonshu, but at the moment Khonshu was locked up. It's not that he could not draw upon these powers. I have Jihad in here recording. We can go to the recording
referring
if you like.
to yeah, no, I was referring to his base abilities though, not the power
Okay,
that would
yes.
allow him to knock out Juggernaut. And also, am I
In
allowed
this
to
comic, in this comic, that
hold on,
was
Judge.
his
I have a
base
question for the
abilities
judge.
with Khonshu taking over.
I have a question for the judge. Judge, am I allowed to contend Azazel's like Juggernaut point now
Yeah.
or no?
Yeah, you
Okay.
can.
I
Because
wasn't
he
done with what I
mentioned
was just preferencing, James.
Oh,
So I
well,
don't
actually,
interject in the middle of my
wait,
point.
sorry,
You'd be
sorry,
the
sorry.
best.
No, wait.
Shut up,
Please
go
wait till he's finished his point and then you can. Sorry, I thought he was finished.
So back to presenting to why it's a non-defeater. Like I said earlier, these two pieces of information work together. They're synonymously. In issue 15, we learned that they now have their now have their connection relinked, allowing them to draw upon now more of Khonshu's power. In issue 19, the only thing that is stated is that Khonshu's power is waning and he lost the ability to revive them. That is all. I can matter of fact, I'll grab that too, where it's stated that it's only to revive. His
We
power,
already
such as the
Um,
moon's amp or
There's no-
anything, is not thrown away.
That's fine.
All right.
That can be
Um,
fine. I'm preferencing that for the point of my thing. And if I was done, I would say I was done. So I'm not.
After Azazel and Kay have finished, I think I would advise y'all to give your last arguments at this point because y'all have been on this point for like an hour.
That's
almost
perfectly
an hour.
fine.
Yeah.
Once again, I actually showed that in, I believe it was issue 18 or issue 17, he was able to pray to Khonshu to draw on this waned power to consecrate water. And this was after Hunter's Moon would have already died, which means that once again, praying to Khonshu has the ability to draw on his innate power, allowing him to restore it. So this would not only be proving what I just assumed to be true. Actually, James, should I attack the presupposition, or do you think that this is enough?
Do you think?
Cool. So, matter of fact, no need to do this. I've already won with this. So yeah, go ahead. By the way, I'm sending the proof right now for being able to
Mr. Daly.
consecrate water.
Do I have because it was questioned? Will I now be able to address what was being said about Thanos, or do I need to wait?
I think you can do that in the final in your final one arguments. I think you all can do that.
I understand.
I also never got to like contend my
There we
collapse.
go.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Okay, you're willing to you can go now and then final arguments after.
Okay.
What?
All right, perfect. Am I allowed to? I can go now.
Yes, sir. Okay, you're up.
All right, perfect. Hold on one second. Just give me. All right. So Azazel, I'm just gonna attack your point about the Juggernaut scan once again. So you basically said that this would be an upscale. Khonshu says that the latest challenge was unworthy of my avatar's attention. The definition.
The only reasoning, if you're going to use
unworthy-
my logic, please make sure you use it in conjunction.
Good sir, I did not cut you off. Can you please not cut me off? Thank you.
I'm saying something so you do not commit. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, wait, let him talk.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, you said that Khonshu referred to Juggernaut as unworthy of his avatar's basically his presence. The definition of unworthy is not deserving effort, attention, or respect. The reason why I think it's logical to assume this is the reason why Khonshu said this is because if you actually read the page, he says tell your master Sidorak that if he truly wants this realm, he'll need to do a lot better than you, right? So he's obviously referring to Juggernaut's master Sidorak. I'm sure we all know who Sidorak is. Sidorak is a fictional character during him. What do you mean? What? Please let me finish.
I apologize.
Sidorak is nah, you're good.
It's all good,
Sidorak is a mystical entity. He has the deity that powers Juggernaut, obviously. So again, with Khonshu actually being a deity himself, it would be logical to assume that he said that Mark Spector is unworthy of this because they're both deities, and he wanted to one up Sidorak himself, being that he is also a deity that wants control of the realm, or has control of the realm, as he states. If Sidorak truly wants this realm, he'll have to do better. So that could be a logical reason as to why Khonshu had to come out and actually do this himself, and why Moon Knight was unworthy. And I think that's very fair to assume, because we know that Moon Knight cannot affect Juggernaut with regular punches on a normal and consistent basis.
Okay, James, I think it's perfectly fine for me to attack that. You would now, James, that was a direct attack after my attack, and I believe that right after this, I believe that I'd be done.
That's what I want to say. Let's just do your whole final argument, which includes the whole summarization. Just say all of it now.
Yeah. Also,
I'll summarize it all in one go. It was my bad. Go ahead.
What was that?
Yeah. I never got to address the Call Obsidian thing with CR when he was like, sending all those.
James is just talking about my point.
No. You can. What we're going to do is at the end, you're going to summarize will summarize your issues with the scaling, which you can include that, because that point's been went over at least enough for that to be fine to bring up, and they'll bring up why they thought it was valid, and then we can be done at this point.
Okay, but real quick, I just want to ask you, James. So I just wanted to clarify an argument before we move into what the name. Is it too late for that?
No. I was in the middle about to start an argument.
Okay, because there's only one argument that I want to clarify, and then I'm not going to do refutations to it, so it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can get that after Azazel does his thing, I guess.
All right.
Thank God. So, James, as I tried to point out during the middle of it, to try to once again apply courtesy, something that's a rule in the server, I was impeded on doing that. But once again, he attacked a singular chain in my chain link of arguments to provide a preponderance of evidence to my point. And sure, this isn't necessarily an illegal move. However, within doing this, it would not be actually attacking the entire wholeheartedness of my argument. It would only be attacking a small point that held very little compared to it. One, there was the consecration of holy water. Two, there was the preponderance of evidence that proved that this not only was a weaker version, and that's the main reason why I would be providing upscaling, but also it was the fact that it was daytime, and that's what we would also be providing the main reason it's an upscale. The other part was only a small part. On top of that, he did try to provide a faulty line of reasoning that would be saying that that Khonshu would want to do that himself when it came down to stopping the Juggernaut. I believe within the very line you quoted, he said that if Sidorak would want to claim this realm, he would have to do better than Juggernaut, and that, once again, as previously said in this comic, Juggernaut was not enough to be deemed respectful or worthy enough to fight his own avatar. On top of this, I'm not sure if you know this about Khonshu and Mark, but they're not different. They're the same entity. If you didn't know that, I can show you. Moon Knight 2005. Khonshu, while after Mark has disobeyed him, Mark has now lost the abilities of healing. He has now lost the Moon Knight strength. Khonshu makes sure to make it very known to him that, hey, by the way, you're not borrowing my power. You are me. He says, not like me. Not like me. Oh, Mark. Oh, you should see something. Haven't you ever looked it up? Because you're right. You're not like me. In the end, you are me. And we know this to be true because the definition right there, the descent of a god to earth in incarnate form. There's no fundamental differentiation between these two. Once again, this is backed up in comics, given the fact that, one, I don't know if you know how consecrating water, holy water works, but you have to offer a sincere prayer to your god to have it anointed by them. Yet, once again, I showed earlier, during his consecration to Khonshu, he didn't actually offer a sincere prayer. He actually insulted him, saying, "And I consecrate this water to the services of Khonshu, that miserable old bastard." And I don't think that's respectful by any means. If I called somebody a miserable little bastard, I don't think that would be, an affirmative thing, something nice to say. No. So he's using Khonshu's power without meeting the requirements for actual consecration. He, as confirmed by Moon Knight 2005, is supposed to be Khonshu in form. We know based off his mind, the construct in his mind, that he believes himself to be the one true Moon Knight. Along with this, we know based off this run that he has access to Khonshu's power via levels that aren't normally applied via Hunter's Moon. How Hunter's Moon was questioning how Moon Knight still has the abilities of a Moon Knight. And I can also provide that for you if you want a second. But also attacking your faulty line of logic. Since you presented a bunch, just need to drop that out the way. Your faulty line of reasoning saying that both of them were deities, there's actually levels to it. Sidorak is actually considered a master of hell within his own little realm. Khonshu is considered a deity. He is a god, a literal god, not only the god of the moon, but also the god of the night. Not only the god of the night, but also the god deeming over space and time. We see this in the comic where I believe it was Avengers War, Moon Knight's War, where they fought with Kang, and he says, "I am also the god of space and time," where he opens a rift in space and time and sends the first Moon Knight into it. I can grab that too. But yeah, with all that, it proves that not only is what you presented on Defeater, but this would be upscaling objectively.
Okay. So, I know Kay intends on going. I don't know if he's allowed to refute or whatever, but I'm just gonna go ahead. So, lost my place. Here we are. Okay, so for the Thanos scan, I just wanted to clarify what I meant. So, by me saying Thanos was taking damage while off guard, he's not preparing for this. The first hits he takes, right? From the back, so he's not prepared for the hit. Then he takes 3 successive hits from much more powerful people than Black Panther. And in doing so, it would lower, he would be sustaining more damage than he usually would if he were on guard. So he's taking a massive amount of damage. And then Black Panther lands a hit on him. So after sustaining a tremendous amount of damage, Black Panther is then able to harm Thanos. So I don't think it would scale to him hurting like a completely unharmed, uninjured Thanos, or let's say completely healthy, 100% non-battle Thanos. So I believe, so what I was trying to say essentially was that he's hitting a Thanos whose durability has been lowered. And I don't think it's possible to scale how strong a hit was required to be to hurt Thanos in this state. Although, of course, you can attempt to. And for the Moon Knight thing with Juggernaut, I'm just gonna leave this here or whatever because I don't really care. It's Juggernaut. But he was in the suit. I do not know the name, but he was in the suit that enables him to fight mystical beings, and magical / mystical beings, and with the what's it called, the gem of Sidorak. It would obviously enable him to hit hard enough to affect Juggernaut harder than he would a normal mid-tier or whatever.
That suit
So
can be summoned.
those are the only refutations that I just want to, well, not refutations, but those are the only things that, the only arguments that I wanted to strengthen. I'll give it to Kay. He can say whatever, and then we can move into
James putting this out there. That was also another non-defeater. But go ahead.
Damn.
Yes, we
am
know
I,
it.
am I gonna?
Stop speaking to the judge.
I believe you should. But a debate is supposed to be presenting
All right,
arguments.
Azazel.
Hold on, nah. Somebody gonna say something slick, James. You can't stop me every time somebody says something
Don't let
slick.
him. Don't. Chill. Let them go.
I'm about to go pray to Khonshu. Wake me up later.
All right.
LOL.
You not to say LOL.
Again, James is on a time limit, you guys.
Let me say this, because as James has already said, we should be presenting final arguments. I'm going to be speaking directly towards what she said about Thanos and Black Panther versus Thanos. The reality of the situation is Thanos' durability is outrageously high, phenomenally high. I don't believe that there is any circumstance. Actually, I don't need to say all that. The point that I'm making is whether or not we want to agree with the logic that because the other Avengers were able to hit Thanos, that his durability was lowered. What I went ahead and put in the chat is that if we read Thanos, I think it was issue 11, Thanos is able to fight on par with the Phoenix and easily tank planetary shockwaves from them exploding. The idea that you can damage Thanos, whether he's on guard or not, is a spectacular one. That's the point. I don't agree with the line of logic that Sarah was presenting because I think it's silly. However, even if we were to agree with that line of logic, it doesn't change what I was saying, in that with his unempowered strikes, he can hurt someone who is significantly difficult to hurt, someone with outrageous durability like Thanos. I do still believe that this demonstrates that his base cutting AP is significantly higher than anything that Bruce would be able to do in base. However, if Bruce or Deathstroke have means that they can amplify their attack potency, then they would only be reaching a level like that, because Black Panther is able to amplify his attack potency beyond what we see here. That was my argument. That was my premise. So what Sarah said doesn't change what I was saying.
Is that all?
Mr. Daly?
Kay, would you like to give any final words, or do you want me to speak on who won this point?
Well, we didn't even give our arguments yet, though. Or
Yeah,
like
we're
our
just
AP.
concluding on these.
Oh, okay.
We'll separate those points because they're completely different arguments.
Yeah. I actually, I don't have anything.
Mr. Daly,
Yeah,
I think that what he was getting to is that he doesn't believe that you can conclude who won the AP point because they haven't had an opportunity to
Yeah, but I can
present.
conclude. I can
James.
conclude on. I can conclude on whether or not what scaling passed within their side of it, because I would separate those points. Points are separated within topicality and those two different topics. You're not.
Yes,
So
so
go to judgment, James. She threw a slick comment at the end that I'd like to address quickly. I literally have already provided the scan and everything. I'd like to adjust that. It's like literally one sentence.
I already took it, already saw it. You already said it technically.
Can be summoned.
I already heard you say originally.
Just in case.
I know.
For recording's sake. Smile.
Okay.
You're on YouTube.
Okay. I'm already on YouTube. But anyway, all right. Do you want me to conclude on who won this point, or do you want me to wait till the end and conclude on everything? I need to know.
You can just
for now.
I thought we were gonna do conclusions.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, give our.
It's like anything I'm gonna say isn't really gonna affect anything. So you can just go to conclusions on who won this specific point, and then I would like to start our AP argument.
Okay. Yeah. If I'm being honest, I would say that first off, I believe that ComicsRelated overall did the best. He proved most of his shit, if not everything he said, pretty much. Now, I should point this out here. Technically, there was a few things that weren't responded to, which is the daylight stuff, for example. So I'm guessing no one had a problem with that, since that wasn't no one really showed contentions with it. There was a specific point here that I want to bring up. So Sarah, the thing fee is cool, but doesn't show that they're relative. Sarah responds that that was not my claim, which is definitely true. That was not the claim that they were relative in punching power or relative within a fighting sense, and that his claim was that damage. He's able to damage a being, or Black Panther's able to damage characters. They're able to tank hits from the thing, which was not refuted. This actually is not technically refuted. The Spider-Man scaling also passes technically, and it's accepted that Spider-Man does this. Also, I don't know if I want to count this. I don't know if you heard him properly when he said. CR said that Spider-Man was capable of fighting. Do you remember who you said?
I said that Spider-Man. Spider-Man has done battle with characters like Colossus and the Juggernaut.
Mm-hmm. So that was technically not argued against. So that was within itself can be argued within its own chain scaling. I would say that everything was would go to CR and Azazel here. I do think Azazel almost lost that point, because I think he did that.
What point? Almost lost what point?
Sarah brought up a really good point about the gem stuff at the end, if you hadn't have said that last phrase, I would have given it to her.
Sidorak, I was trying to
me.
address this, but
That
you
was
wouldn't
that
let
said
me. This man
I know.
Conchu doesn't have a gem in that. You wouldn't let me
Oh
address
my
it.
gosh.
I know.
You never let me address it. So how do you mean I almost lost it? You never let me address it.
Because you did address it.
I had to illegally cheat in a sentence, James.
Can we
And no one called
can we
no one
continue,
called it
please?
out. Anyway,
Or are we arguing?
back to the point. I would say that the most of the Black Panther stuff goes through, and Conchu would scale to Juggernaut in terms of AP. And the only part that I would say is like semi-contentious is the Thanos stuff. Other than that, Black Panther, everything's clearly for Black Panther.
I'm sorry,
So,
sir. You said the only thing that would be contentious is what?
Semi-contentious, like even semi-contentious, which
Would
means
be
the only
what?
thing that isn't is the Thanos stuff. It's the only thing that even has a slight bit of contention. Everything else is pretty much like perfect.
I ain't even gotten to my AP yet and already won it. Damn.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So you I would say everything across the board. Black Panther consistently scales, or at least has been put at relative standings to characters like The Thing and characters like Spider-Man undoubtedly. And it definitely can be argued to Thanos, or at least capable of damaging Thanos. And Azazel has proven that Moon Knight should to some extent be on similar levels to Juggernaut, if not above.
Sir, I also presented evidence for him to be able to damage characters like Namor the Submariner and Perfect Sentry.
Yep. I saw that. I thought you were just using that as more like to show that more to show that like stats can be raised, which I also nothing was refuted. Also, the nanotech part wasn't argued against, so I'm going to say it's the case.
Nice.
The nanotech stuff, yeah, that was brung up at the start, but no one said anything. So I'm going to assume that there's no problems with it.
Rock and roll. I'm good with that.
All right. So can we get into our
so your
AP?
turn. Yep, go ahead.
Perfect. All right. So I'm gonna start us off. So essentially, our premise is that Batman and Slade will be able to match any AP that Moon Knight and Black Panther would have, whether it would be with blunt force or with edge weapons.
Wow.
Or
To
hurt
start
more.
I couldn't hear what you said, Sarah. Say it again.
I'm sorry, just interjecting that they would hurt more, but continue.
Yeah, or if possible, hurt more. Yeah. All right. So to start it off, we've all seen the scan. Batman possesses shot gauntlets that are able to harm the likes of Superman, send him flying extremely fast into what seems to be like a little mountain of snow, and he craters the ground. Also, it's important to add that he was mind controlled by the Spectre in this instance, the Spectre being a member of the Quintessence, which would make him one of the strongest beings in the entire DC multiverse. And Batman's punch was able to affect the powers of a being of that magnitude. Also, to substantiate that Batman's shot gauntlets are Superman level. Here we have in Deathstroke Rebirth 2016, number 32, I believe. Slade, like verbatim states that Batman's gauntlet are designed to battle Superman and the like. So that would be like, Superman, Wonder Woman, other high tiers in DC or Justice Leaguers that are in that same power bracket. This is verbatim stated by Deathstroke. I also wanted to note that in this same exact scan where Deathstroke states that, Batman's gauntlets are then charged by the energy from Deathstroke's energy staff. I don't know if you guys see that, but Batman says, "Thank you for charging my gauntlets." Just to add more consistency to Batman, his shot gauntlets being of that high tier. Here we have in Justice League 2018, I forget the specific issue, but here we have Batman harming Apex Lex with those same exact shot gauntlets, which again will substantiate them being Superman level. And there's also another statement by Deathstroke in Deathstroke 2016, issue number 34, where he again states that Batman's shot gauntlets absorb the energy from his staff. He literally says his staff charges the shot gauntlets, and he then states again, which from their wallop, I presume you designed to fight the like of Superman. Now, Deathstroke would be an extremely reliable source, being that he himself has also done battle with Superman, and so has Batman as well. So the statement that they are Superman level shouldn't be taken lightly. Also, I just want to get into the fact that Apex Lex was also shown tanking a punch from Superman that was apparently not holding back. I can grab that scan for you guys one moment. Hold on one second. Actually, Sarah, do you have that scan? You could probably get it quicker than me. You know exactly what scan I'm talking about too.
I'm sorry, what?
Do you have the scan of Superman punching Apex Lex with a non-holding back punch and Apex Lex just getting up like nothing happened?
I can grab it, but go ahead. I'm gonna get it.
All right, no problem. While she's grabbing that, again, just want to put heavy emphasis that these shot gauntlets are Superman level and they're consistent. I'm just going to add consistency for Batman having them, so that's not even up for discussion. Just give me one moment, please. I have all the scans. I just have to like save them to my camera roll so I can send them. So here's two other instances of Batman having the shot gauntlets, including like the other instances I've already sent that are each from different stories. This is from World's. This last scan that I sent is from World's Finest, I believe, issue 7 or 8, and the scan above that is from Detective Comics 1065, I believe, where he uses them again. And also, just want to show that Batman can augment his shot gauntlets as well. So just like T'Challa, where like he can make his limits higher than what they are like already shown to be, Batman can also do the same thing. And again, I've already showed that kinetic energy will charge, not kinetic energy, but energy period will charge Batman's gauntlets, and that is consistent. As you see with Deathstroke's energy staff charging them. So any attack that T'Challa uses, like that would be energy based or like a blast, or if he does like an energy explosion, Batman can simply absorb the energy with his shot gauntlets, and it will also multiply the shot gauntlets impact. And oh yeah, Sarah just sent the scan of Apex Lex taking a punch from Superman. That was apparently not holding back, according to Apex Lex. He says, hey, I've always wondered what it would feel like to be hit by you if you weren't holding back. Hit by you when you weren't holding back, sorry. And he says disappointing, showing that he's pretty unfazed. And again, if you look at the scan where Batman is punching him, he draws blood. And also, before you even say that, oh, Apex Lex is off guard because he has a star on his face, the star comes off in the second panel. And if you look at the middle bottom panel where Apex Lex, wait, Sarah, you gotta mute. Sarah, you gotta mute. I'm not gonna lie.
My bad.
Now you're good. But if you look at the bottom middle panel where Apex Lex says you always had a wicked tongue, Batman, there's no star on his face if you zoom in. And then to further substantiate that, in the last panel to the far right on the bottom, he doesn't have the star on his face either. So that means that Batman punched the star off his face. So again, and he also drew blood from Apex Lex in that same exact scenario. And as far as Slade goes with edge weapons, I'm sure we are all aware that Deathstroke has a Prometheum sword that can absorb near limitless amounts of kinetic energy. Actually, sorry, unlimited amounts of kinetic energy or energy, doesn't matter what energy form it is. This blade is also virtually indestructible and can pretty much was shown cutting through Aquaman's trident. Hold on, I'll grab that scan for you right now. Also, when I'm done getting this last like couple of scans, I'm gonna let Sarah tag in, just to let you guys know.
I'm curious if you're arguing for Deathstroke right now. What is she tagging in for exactly?
Oh wait, I didn't know we couldn't both. Okay, sorry. So I'll take Sarah. You could just start the Deathstroke argument then.
No, man. I mean, do what you want. If the I don't know, to be honest with you, but like if if you got this, you got this. I ain't mad. I just
Nah, Sarah, you can. Sarah, So am I allowed to do this? Like yes or no? Because it doesn't really like affect anything. Because I could just say what I was going to say, and then she could go and like kind of bounce.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Tom's just playing. Yes, he is. Yes, you can do
okay. I was just making sure. Thank
you. Way to be useless. Go ahead, sir.
All right. Here we have Deathstroke's Prometheum sword being able to slice through Aquaman's trident clean. This sword. Sorry, not the sword. Aquaman's trident is incredibly strong because, as we can see in this scan that I'm sending right now, he's able to pierce the likes of Darkseid, who is an incredibly powerful being in DC Comics. I don't really need to get into scaling of Darkseid, but he's consistently shown to be above Superman, if not like equals with Superman. And yeah, Aquaman's trident just pierces through him, and Deathstroke's sword is able to just completely slice through his trident with ease. And that's before the sword is and absorbed any kinetic energy or any energy at all. So if you were to blast this sword with any form of kinetic energy, which is something that Black Panther likes to do, Deathstroke would quite literally make Deathstroke's sword more powerful and make it easier for him to cut through things. So Sarah, if you want to go for Deathstroke now, you can.
Okay, so I just want to jump in and substantiate your argument, right? which one? Where's it at? You sent it, right? Yes. When Batman hit Apex Lex in an off guard, of course you're not prepared for the first hit, but after you've been hit, your body tenses for the next one, increasing your durability. So Apex Lex would be off guard for the first hit, but not any of the successive ones. So the next 2 hits would still count. And as you can see in the second one, with draw off his head, he draws blood. So he was prepared for that hit. I'm just gonna grab some Deathstroke. Let me see. Okay.
Judge,
So
could
with
you
the
ask her to
sword,
restate that last argument?
Did
That
you?
last,
Yeah, I
last
need
point?
the beginning of that to be restated, please.
okay, I'm sorry. So for the Apex X versus Batman, when you off guard someone, you off guard them for the first hit. After the first hit, they would logically be expecting another. So, sorry. The 2 successive hits that Batman does would be while Apex X is on guard, and that is when he draws blood from him. So he would still be drawing blood from an on guard Apex Lex. Now for the AP feats for Deathstroke, he is able to cut Superman with his sword. You've seen above where he's able to cut through Arthur's trident. With his staff, he is able to blast Grundy, one-shot him. Actually, no. Just give me 1 second as I grab
Also, while she's grabbing that, just to jump in real quick. Also, with Deathstroke's not Prometheum, with his titanium staff, he's also able to stagger the likes of Superman with a blast and draw blood from Superman as well. I will be sending a scan for that momentarily. And this also further strengthens my argument about Batman's gauntlets being able to absorb energy. He was able to absorb enough energy that was able to draw blood from Superman.
Okay, so in the ones that I just saying, he's able to stagger Superman with his, I genuinely always forget what it's called, his staff. And he's able to stagger Wonder Woman with his staff as well. I don't think it's necessary to scale them. 1 moment.
There's a scan of him staggering Superman. If you look closely in the bottom panel, you can see blood leaking from Superman's nose.
Okay, there. Oh, I was gonna grab that one. There you go.
Also, Sarah, check what I just sent you as well.
I know. Give me a moment. Trying to get that other Wonder Woman scan. It would be here, probably. Okay, and even without the staff, he's able to stagger Wonder Woman with a hit. Okay. Okay, was there anything else you wanted to add for Batman's AP?
Yeah. You can finish up what you were saying though, and then I'll just bounce in when you're done. Just let me know.
Okay, so for the
Unless you need
AP,
time.
all right. For the AP, Deathstroke is consistently shown to be able to harm the legs of Superman and Wonder Woman. I don't really want to, but I can scale. What do you? I can scale them for you if you like a quick scale. Let me see if I can find. Here we go. Let me just send it directly in here. What? Why does it consider it explicit content? Oh wait, can I do a screenshot?
Guess it's because it's explicit.
Hold on, let me see if the screenshot will work.
Probably my main guess. It would be my main guess. Would be it's explicit.
I gotta chill to my guest, bro. I gotta chill, man.
What?
Yo, like
I was really nice.
If it doesn't work, you should send it. Yeah, the screenshot won't work. You know? Let me see one more try if I can get this in there.
I mean, I know a way. It would just
Also,
be really hard. Just screenshot your
James,
phone and then screenshot your laptop.
James, while she's getting that scan, I have a question. Are we going to be doing like a gear category or like gadgets?
Yeah, you'll have to do a few.
Okay.
Also, because like at one point you'll also have to go over why, because this is a cross versus fight. This is an in versus fight. You'd also have to go over why one scaling's better than the other. So you have to go through a few things.
Gotcha.
Mr. Day, well, I guess I'll save that for the refutations, because the way that they're presenting this is very strange to me.
The way they set up the premise can be dismantled in one go. So that's what I'm just waiting for.
Actually, really interested. This is a Kay presented a good argument. I'm really interested.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm interested too. I like the confidence
Anyway.
though.
As you can see, his disc that he carries. Oh, let me show consistency for on. Here you go. I know. Here you go. Please don't consider this explicit. I'm begging you. Yay. Okay, so there you go. So the discs that he uses are able to affect Lobo. As you can see here, he is able to. Let me send these. Make sure these work. Okay. He's able to stagger and draw blood from New Superman, who is Superman, basically.
Well, shit, no way.
For the most part, shall I say. Let me see. Do I have anything else? I have that one. The Grundy scan.
Ma'am, do you mind go ahead and repeating that argument one more time?
Which one? I haven't finished it yet.
What
so
you just said. What you just said.
For the scan I just sent?
Yes, please.
Oh, he's able to stagger and draw blood from New Superman.
And what did you say after that?
Nothing.
My bad. I think he meant before.
I didn't say anything. I just mentioned the feet. There's another person in the room, so you might have heard my little brother, but I didn't say anything.
It sounded like you said that stroke was consistent to Superman.
I'm pretty sure you said consistently damaging Superman.
Oh, that. Yeah. Being able to consistently damage Superman or Superman-like beings. Or rather, stagger Superman like beings. Let me see. Is that everything that I have on deck for the moment? Yeah, so I'm just gonna emphasize my argument and hand it to Kay. So basically, where is it? Did I send it already?
What are you looking for?
The other instance of him hurting Superman or staggering him. No,
With
I didn't
what?
send it. Okay, hold on a minute. I'm grabbing it. I literally
Are you talking
read
about
through a
with
bunch of comics and
his?
saved a ton of feats, so like they're getting lost in
No,
my phone. Just give me a
no, you're
second.
good. Are you saying with like his? Was it with the staff or was it with?
No, it's with the icon. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay, there you go. All right, and with this icon, he's able to stagger Superman again. So just to round it all off, he's able to consistently. His sword is able to pierce Superman. He can drop Grundy with one shot from his staff. The staff is also able to stagger both Wonder Woman and Superman consistently. With his hands, he is able to stagger Wonder Woman. With his disc, he's able to seriously harm Lobo's body, and he is able to draw blood from New Superman and stagger Superman. From New Superman and stagger actual Superman. And there we go. So Kay, if you wanna add anything else or whatever.
Yeah, no, I'll go. So I also wanted to add that Batman, as we all know, carries projectiles as well. He carries explosives, concussions, things of that nature. I won't get into the concussions.
Yo,
or,
I want to
like,
bring this up now. Why are we on equipment? Why are we on
also am
equipmentized
curious
AP?
about
explosive?
that.
We're on
Explosives. What?
we're on
Okay, wait,
equipmentized AP right now. I'm a little bit confused. I thought we were on. No.
Oh, okay.
I
So
believe
I
attack
mean,
potency would tie into what their gear can do as well, but if not, James Davies
Also,
and
because
yeah,
that would be going into more of a
would have
hack
been
section.
projected.
Last time I checked.
not necessarily.
Uh,
Also, and Azazel, regarding to Black Panther, like all of his AP is basically
Yeah,
with gear
you
because that's a
use
part of his
gear
suit.
for
You
Black
just
Wait a
said
minute.
Yeah,
Wait a
I
minute.
don't
There's a
know.
I
difference when
want to.
Wait a minute.
there's a
Let's all
difference when it
pause.
comes to that. There's a
Let's all
complete and total
pause.
difference when it
Let's
comes
all
to that.
pause.
No, there really
Even
isn't. We're
Azazel,
using
Azazel, let's all
Okay,
explosive
pause.
okay,
gear.
Let's all pause.
okay,
Let's all
okay,
pause.
guys.
Not
Kay,
different
can
at
you
all.
repeat
I
what you
do
just
believe
said?
you should attack that right now.
Kay,
Okay,
can you repeat
guys.
what you just said?
I just said that T'Challa's suit is his gear, and Batman literally has this is all in Batman's base. So I don't see why
I don't
AP
think that's what
would
you
be
said. I think
considered
you said something
a
No,
different. Can you
that's
suit.
repeat it the
that's
way
what
you
he
Yeah,
said
said.
it?
he said something
Yeah,
different. He definitely said something
Wow.
different.
no, guys. Okay,
Okay.
okay. Yes,
Nope,
he clearly
he
said
said
something different. I heard what he said. He said all his power comes from the suit. It's all clear what he said. Okay,
Yeah.
but let's wait. Let's wait. I would agree if these like specific like suit shit or gear shit produces some level of energy that will be considered AP, we could talk about in the same way that briefly CR brung up the nanotech stuff. So I'm fine with that being brung up. As long as it's not something like, well, he can electrocute people or he can poison them. Is that's more like, yeah, let's talk about that later.
Okay, so electricity would be hacks. Got you. Or gadget hacks, whatever. All right, so I'll get into my explosives, like I was just going to. So Batman consistently carries explosives. He carries explosives that are strong enough to knock back damage and stagger him. Damage being another character who is in that Superman level of strength. Not saying that he's on Superman's level 100%, but he's definitely strong enough to affect Superman. As in his fight with Superman, he was able to punch Superman, send him flying into a rock, and also draw blood from Superman. As you can see in that bottom left panel, Superman's mouth is leaking blood. So he's able to draw blood from Superman, and Batman is able to stagger a being who is strong enough to do so. Also, in that same fight with Superman, he was just completely tanking and walking through Superman's heat vision. I'll get that scan for you guys right now.
So we agree on being Goku?
Never.
Yeah.
Goku's fodder.
You said, wait, who beats Goku? You
Okay,
said,
yeah.
James?
That's right. That's right. No day. Everyone loses to Goku. Ain't nobody beating Goku.
Anyway, here's a scan of damn, why did I just send? Okay, there we go. Yeah, here's a scan of damage walking through Superman's heat vision and taking it, and then even briefly overpowering Superman in a grappling match, which would quite literally just substantiate the fact that he's relative to Superman in terms of strength. Not to say that he is on par with Superman completely, but they're in the same strength bracket. Again, he has explosives that can stagger a young rookie Superman and send him flying. Oh, then that's the
This
wrong part of the scan.
Superman,
Hold on, my
however,
fault.
he was lacking some powers. He still was confirmed to have invulnerability. But go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, I sent it in the wrong order. Here's the correct order. So yeah, he throws an explosive at Superman, which knocks him back through a window. Again, more consistency of his explosives. Here he's able to use explosives that can completely destroy Yellow Lantern constructs from Nero, Kyle Rayner villain. Don't really need to scale the Yellow Lantern ring. Give me 1 second, just make sure that's it's yeah, as far as like yeah, Sarah, if you have anything you want to add, you can go at this point. So I just wanted to show explosive. I'll save all the other like gadget stuff for like the other category.
Oh, so we're saving the explosives that Batman has for another time, or are we good?
You can send if you have more stuff to send, you could go ahead.
Okay, so well, technically no, because we're gonna do hacks, right?
Yes, at one
That would be a
point,
question for the judge. Okay, perfect. So yeah,
preferably in like the next 30 minutes.
got you.
Okay, then we're gonna do hacks and whatever. I'll just send these first couple ones. Let me see.
All
It
right, so
won't
yeah,
take
when
long.
Sarah, when you're done sending these, they can go into their first wave of like refutations or whatever contention they have.
In a minute. Why are these so low quality? I literally just got them. I'm so annoyed. Okay. We're gonna use them anyway. Okay, so just for explosive, I'm just gonna add a couple more things for Batman. So for one, he has the explosive that Batman carries can stagger Zod. The explosive batarangs that he has are sharp enough to pierce Amazo and detrimentally affect Amazo tech. This Amazo had Superman's power abilities, which would mean that he has invulnerability. So his batarangs were able to pierce something with invulnerability. Batman's belt also has a self-destruct button. Well, not button, but program. I don't know if you know this, but his oh, that's probably going to be too much. But his belt can produce explosions of this magnitude. So yeah, I don't want to bog y'all down with too much stuff to go through. So you can go now.
Laugh out loud.
Please don't ever do that again. The whole laugh out loud.
I mean, somebody else got to do it. Like, how come I'm
Yeah,
the
I
one
know.
that's getting
I
it?
know.
It was
Yeah,
me.
wait, yeah,
Because
perfect.
he's
Wait,
black, ain't it, James? It's because he's black.
no. I said K was stupid for doing LOL or LOL out
I'm
loud.
just saying,
It
like
was,
he got away with it.
it was
I
more
said
No,
it
than
he
one
one.
time.
didn't.
I
No, he didn't.
automatically I was told never to do it
No, he
again.
did. No, he didn't. I've taken points away from his existence. That he said that I
James, even
unfollowed
though I
him.
know Related's about to
Right.
throw in a couple jabs first, I want to ask you a question.
Wait, what
Are you
happened?
allowed
Did
to
you say my name?
dismantle somebody's premise, right?
I
By
mean,
via
technically,
invalidating everything they said. I mean, I know it's done. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. Out of pure being nice to you. But go ahead, Related. Throw in you a couple jabs.
No. There's. I'd rather you go ahead and dismantle the premise, and if necessary, after I find the scan that I'm looking for, if we have to deal with any of this, then we'll deal with it. Because I'm still looking for a very specific scan for some of the things that Kay said. But if you could just get rid of the premise altogether, that would be great. And then we
Even
can move
better. So I believe they have reason to change the premise based on the fact that the premise was originally stated that it could that Batman and Slade would be able to present AP that could either match and or go higher than the presented AP of Moon Knight. Got it on recording. Definitely what it was. Allow
And
me
Black
to
Panther.
introduce what the and Black Panther, my bad. Um Allow me to introduce what the main problem with that is, James. So I'm speaking directly to James right now because when it comes to premises, it needs to be judged by the judge. So here, James, with that being stated, if I stated earlier during my premises that not only did I have further extrapolation to go upon to reach the actual conclusion of what Moon Knight's AP was, if they base it off the weaker form of it, would that not be a flawed premise? Given the fact that they're supposed to negate the ultimatum of mine, but they're going off the lower.
Wait, can you please state that again? I'm trying to hear what you asked him. You kind of cut out for me.
Okay, sure. You've based your premise on the lesser amount of AP that I established for Moon Knight. I clarified that to actually get to the AP, I needed to get high. I needed to finish the argument. You structured your premise on an incomplete argument to counter my entire argument. That would be faulty. Your premises would
How
not
was it?
follow through with your
Okay.
conclusion
Yeah.
due to the fact that my premises was not fully fulfilled, yet you were making a counter to my conclusion. That no longer follows through. That's a defeater. It's as
But I
if I
want to
was
ask you a
it's not,
question.
this
Oh
isn't a
wait.
question. This is presenting it to
Right.
James.
So so what you're trying to say is that they did not achieve the premise of proving that their characters are stronger than Black Panther and Moon Knight, correct?
Correct. It would not. It would even if they were to win this point, it
Mhm.
would still not grant them the achievement that their premise was setting up. So their conclusion cannot be proven. Therefore, it's a defeater automatically.
Right. Now, Kay
Yeah.
and Sarah.
There's
I'm
no
gonna
way
give you
around
all a
that, James.
chance.
I know
Right,
you know
yeah.
it's not.
Wait. I'm gonna give them a chance. Sarah, okay, can you please reiterate the part where you did prove that if there was a time where you proved your characters were stronger than Moon Knight and Black Panther physically instead of the AP?
Wait, we're doing physical strength, right?
AP
Just like lifting
just
strength,
means
essentially.
energy release. So AP. That's what AP refers to, energy release.
So you want
So-
so you want us to reiterate where our characters are stronger than their characters?
No,
Specifically,
where-
James invited that.
Where you said that.
That's what you're asking.
Where,
I'm
or
just trying to
what
clarify.
argument you made that proved that or attempted to prove that?
Even if they
What
didn't,
argument?
the premises itself would be flawed, James.
Is that wait? Let's give him a chance.
Daly. Wait, Mr.
Yes.
Daly. Before
Yeah.
I would like to reiterate something just so that we're all on the same page and we can again save your time. What Azazel is trying to express right now is due to how they formulated their refutations of our original argument. Azazel's original argument around Moon Knight's AP was not completed.
I know.
He set a standard for where Moon Knight was, but did not set the cap because
Yeah.
it was
Finish
never
my
because the
argument.
cap was never given.
Uh-huh.
Sarah and Kay
I know.
literally cannot defeat it.
I know.
No matter
I
what,
know.
even if they specify in their argument where they said it,
Hold on.
it would still be a defeater to their own premises, James. So I
No,
believe
I
this is
know.
irrelevant.
I've heard what
I
you
never
said.
capped it. Wait, am I allowed to say something, please, really fast?
Yes.
Thank you. So essentially what I was going to say is that both Azazel and CR kind of presented different arguments because Azazel, while he argued that his didn't have a cap, CR never really said that was like low ball for T'Challa, right? CR did say, however, that T'Challa, let me finish. CR did say that T'Challa could augment or not augment. He could boost his AP with regarding his suit. But I also said that too for Batman shotguns. I also said that Batman shotguns can also be augmented and boosted, and I also showed consistency of them absorbing energy. So Batman's shotguns don't have a cap either. And actually, give me 1 second.
That was a wrong statement that I'll get to in a second. CR, did you or did you not earlier say, oh my bad, were you not earlier playing off the fact that I was setting a bare minimum, a baseline for what the AP would be for both Black Panther and Moon Knight? Is that not what your argument was supported?
Not only that, if I recall correctly, what I actually said was that I am going to piggyback and clarify the point that we were making in the premise that we established what had nothing to do with the caps. The premise that we established and the argument that we were stating was that at base, Black Panther and Moon Knight already have higher AP than Bruce and Slade. But if they were to be able to demonstrate that Bruce and Slade could reach the level that our characters have at base, then they would have to contend with the fact that they can be augmented and increased. I was the one that demonstrated the means by which Black Panther could augment and increase his strength. Yes. But the point is
that this was all during daytime that Moon Knight defeated the Juggernaut.
Exactly.
I didn't even get to the armor yet, which would be an augmentation of his base strength due to the fact that I was under the presupposition that we saved that for hacks. So I was double not done.
Okay. For one, I don't think that's a defeater.
James, it would most definitely be. It would most definitely be a defeater. James, I know this would be a defeater because not only have I witnessed you do the exact same thing, I have also gone off the fact that if they shift their premise right now to tweak it at all, it would be not only shifting the. I did not say that you were. So once again, please stop presupposing what I'm saying and shut up. Thank you. Anyways, James, as I was saying, if they were to shift their premise, it would be shifting the goalposts.
Stop right
And
now.
if they were to,
Hey,
ain't no timeout.
hey, all of y'all. Hey,
I'm chilling.
Hold on.
Lion.
Please,
I was
Hold on.
talking.
Hold on.
Anytime he
Hold
went,
on.
Nah,
anytime he
you didn't have
started
to
his
say.
stuff,
You
he
didn't
asked
have
me
to
to be
say.
Okay,
quiet.
guys,
You didn't
I
have
didn't
to
be
say
quiet. I
that.
went
Hold on.
quiet.
Hold on.
You didn't have
When
to
I
say
started
that.
talking,
guys,
then
Let's
do
not
it.
get disrespectful. Let's
Hey,
not get
both.
disrespectful.
I ain't
Hey,
Please.
disrespectful yet, but I
hey,
can get real
Azazel.
disrespectful.
You just
oh my
you
god,
said
Azazel, chill.
Azazel.
I'm
Azazel,
perfectly fine.
Azazel, please stop acting tough to read the internet.
K, stop
We're
talking.
talking about
Okay,
Talking about
stop.
the
comics.
internet.
Let's keep
I
it
mean, we can
comics.
God,
act tough.
hey, don't do
I'm
that.
not
Let's
acting tough
please,
yet.
Careful.
Please test me.
Guys,
Please
Okay,
test
I'm
me,
chill.
being
okay?
dead
Everybody
on.
chill.
Stop.
Everybody
let's
chill.
keep
Please
it
test me.
comics.
Okay,
Please.
okay.
Everybody chill.
Please test
Let's
me.
stop.
Come
Let's
on.
stop. Like,
Pause.
just keep it
Because
comics,
everybody
please.
know you
We're
getting
not
slaughtered
like
right
that.
now. Like, let's do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Anybody
Take
Okay,
my
acting
dick out
tough,
your
James.
mouth.
I'm
Hey,
just establishing
hey.
superiority.
Okay,
Where it
okay,
should be.
okay,
Take my dick
okay,
out your
okay,
mouth.
Azazel.
Taking the dick out your mouth. No
Sit in
disrespect to
your
be
place.
violated.
I
Oh
mean,
my
you
god.
got
All right,
lions
Please.
related and my
Just
dick in your mouth
Can we mute
24/7.
them?
So if you
yeah,
talk about
nigga.
dick in your mouth, you might want to be quiet. You got a lot of it in your mouth. Keep it in your
I
jaw.
can't. I
Comics. How
can't.
do you mute?
Is there a way to
Yeah, I
mute them?
can't mute either,
You'll,
so I don't know what to say.
you'll just click on them and mute them.
Yes. Okay.
I don't want to
All
have to
right.
mute them, but I will.
For one,
Please no.
let's not
No.
get into this.
Mute.
Okay,
Hey,
remain cordial
hey.
for 99%
Mute
of this.
K.
Let's
Look,
just try and
mute
keep
K
it that way.
now.
The reason why I don't think this is a defeater, pretty simply is, and the reason why I'm not going to instantly say their argument is over, is one of two things here. One, I don't think that is the premise of their argument. In the same way that I don't think when Comics Related said the exact same thing, that wasn't the premise of his argument. Okay, because I don't think that's the stemming point. Because when you're going from a topical standpoint, this is a subtopic of the overarching conclusion, and this subtopic is purely going off the basis of how strong this character is. That's all they were explaining. So, for example, the first thing that CR says after you say your first thing, Azazel, is, I think that Black Panther and Moon Knight punch harder. Now, if I wanted to be a dick and just say that was his premise, technically, CR never proved that. He technically never proved that. But in the same realm, Sarah and Kay never responded to it. But I'm being lenient here on both sides in that regard, because I feel like on both sides there's an understandability that we're building up to the final conclusion and not arguing from the status of trying to prove it from the start, because neither of you are right now trying to go off the basis of saying, well, these characters win. You're trying to build up to that final conclusion and going point by point, which is why I'm willing to calm on that stuff much more. Does that make sense?
Mr. Daly, if I may, I do not believe that was what I actually said at all. I do recall saying that I believe that their AP was significantly higher, and
because I wrote it down exactly what you said.
That's
James, we have it on recording. Not only did Kay state that was his premise, we stated earlier. Comics Related himself actually made a if statement. It was a if this is the case.
Okay. My notes say
I can grab the record. Yonko, do you please mind stopping the recording for a second?
What it says is that I believe that Black Panther and Moon Knight hit way harder, either with weapons or blunt force fists. That's what's it, or vice versa.
Was that not a playoff of my premise though?
Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
James,
Yeah, we can hear you.
We heard you, but my question is, was that or was that not a playoff of my premise? Was that not him imposing something after you said we should both make our beliefs clear?
I like that.
No, you're perfectly fine. What's up, Yonko? Did you stop the recording? You're lagging
Damn,
now.
he's breaking like crazy right now.
Yeah, don't stop it yet, but I can have you grab the recording in a second. This man is in the Speed Force right now. Good God.
James, we can't hear you at all, bro. Is he gone?
There's still a green circle around him. I think he's still trying to talk.
Damn, I don't think he can hear us.
Yeah, I think he's gone.
Okay, can you all hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. Let me take this
Real quick. Hey, James, before you say anything, real quick. Comics Related, Azazel, Sarah, Kay, can y'all mute yourself real quick? I need to say something. I do not want to be interrupted when I say this. Y'all are having a debate. I could give a good goddamn if y'all have issues with each other or if there's any kind of issues. y'all will respect each other. Y'all will talk to each other like people while y'all are having this debate, or everybody can shut this shit down and go the fuck home. No one's gonna make any jokes. No one's gonna make any side jokes. No more of that shit. There will be no more arguing after this. Once everybody unmutes, continue with the debate because James is on a time limit. Sarah is on a time limit. We do not have time to do all this bullshit. Y'all can do it after. That's all I have to say. Y'all continue. Y'all can unmute yourself now.
For my notes, what CR said was, I believe that Black Panther and Moon Knight hit way harder than insert characters, either by weapons or fist.
My question to you is: was that not a playoff of my premise, though? At the moment that was, you said that we should establish, everybody should establish their beliefs, not premises, not establish what they necessarily are. Hold on, let me finish, James. Not establish necessarily what they're going to be abiding by the entire debate. At that moment, after I had already established my premise, word for word premise, via my own words.
Okay, Azazel, what your premise was and what the thing you initially said was you insert with the Juggernaut shit and said, based off this, believe that Moon Knight is equal, if not above, Slade or
just
Batman,
for me,
and you did not prove that.
Hold on, you said what?
You
James?
legitimately did not prove that.
You said you were lagging, James.
You lagged out.
So what'd you
if
say?
we're gonna be hyper tense on what premises are, you didn't prove that.
What would James repeat what you said? My premise was I couldn't hear you. You were lagging.
Sorry. It says, so you said the Conchu and Juggernaut stuff, and then you said, based off this, I believe that Moon Knight is equal, if not above, Slade and Batman. You technically never proved that.
Okay, James, did you catch what the end of what I said right there was?
The end,
in the almost at the end of the debate, near the middle of the debate, and somewhere in between there, I said several times, 3 times specifically, that this was only the baseline of my argument, and I was going to take it further. And if you're paying attention to what I'm saying, I'm not saying they have failed to prove their premise to be true. I'm saying it is impossible for it to be proven true if they're establishing it off of an incomplete premise of mine.
Why?
If you establish a premise off somebody's incomplete opinion or incomplete premises, and they complete it later, which shows contradicting evidence or something that points a plot hole in the original argument, it would then dismiss the original. Oh, my bad, not the original. It would dismiss the secondary due to the fact that it was established off of a
that assumes that in their argument they don't establish a link as to why these characters are stronger than Moon Knight.
Hold on. That's the only problem, James. They cannot, if I have not established how strong Moon Knight is, they're playing off of mine.
They could still establish it themselves, though.
James, if they're saying, I believe, if we fight, right, and I say based off what James has shown, I think I can whoop his ass. But during that entire debate, you had a broken rib, a broken arm. We can grab the recording. They literally were playing off what I said.
No, they didn't say based off. They didn't say that.
Hold on, I didn't say they said based. I'm not saying they said based off. I said that's what. Oh God, James. I said that's what they were implying.
James, can I ask you something?
I wanted to ask you.
James, obvious. It is a defeater. If it's an obvious implication for playing off what I have presented,
not really.
This will shut it down.
Okay, James, I just want to ask really fast. How long are judge contentions allowed to go on? Because we've been on this for a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why is he allowed to just argue?
In the grand scheme of things,
we had to get muted during the beginning of this. It was actually going to be very simple.
In fairness, Kane Sarah, we've been on this for 9 minutes. Y'all spent longer on whether or not Thanos got scratched.
Okay.
I also think that we should kind of just be accepting of the judge's verdict because he is in fact the judge.
As long until James wants to stop it,
I talked to James about this previously, and I have the same thing anytime James judges my debates. James throws something, and usually we reach somewhere near a conclusion within a reasonable time. So do me a favor, leave me alone. Anyways,
no one was talking to you.
Are you saying that it's almost impossible?
But
you're referencing me in that situation.
Smart comments towards each other. Please remember that.
Okay. Let's calm down.
Lying. That wasn't. I asked him to please leave me alone.
I'm just saying, do not allow it to escalate. But
I was going to say that was a genuine comment. James, are you saying it is impossible to my bad. I'm not even gonna ask you that question. James, do you see how it could be a defeater if it was established off my implication of my scale?
If they don't attack it by the mid to end of debate, sure. But
that I'd have to complete my scale for them to complete their premise then, James.
But your scale will complete before theirs.
No, it
could
will
get-
not because they're on theirs right now.
That assumes that they complete it.
They were. I mean, I'm not about to presuppose that they were on the
You're
track.
saying incompleting your point. Theirs could easily too.
I have yet to finish it because I was interrupted. I was going to finish it, but I was interrupted.
But Azazel, could that hypothetically still happen to them too?
Not necessarily due to the fact that
Exactly.
I'm not asking you necessarily.
Yo,
I'm
I
asking
swear, it's almost like we were just asking not to sit there and cut each other off, Kay. It's almost like you asked me that, and now you're doing it also.
Okay,
So please stop, Kay.
I'm the best you
James.
have right now. Now, Azazel. I'm not
James,
asking whether
once again,
necessarily
like I was saying, did you not cut me when I was still making my argument, James? Did you not cut me off and impede me from actually not only attacking a vital point that they brought up, which I could have proven to be non-vital, to stop me from finishing my premises? But didn't you force that on the Sidorak Gym point, which was proven to be effortless and almost nothing in the end of the debate if I was allowed to address it? Did you not stop me from properly addressing that?
I'm going to read my notes out to you.
I need you to answer that question, James.
Well, I am.
Did you or did you not stop?
I'm
But
going
I
to
need
read
an
my
answer.
notes. All right, Azazel. If you let me read out my notes, you will clearly understand.
Uh-huh.
All right. The gem point is a good and smart use of a tactic in this situation. Azazel cuts off and says that this is a suit, and Sarah doesn't. That could be summoned, and Sarah does not respond to this. Sarah and Kay, if they were smart enough, would have known to respond to this because then Azazel wouldn't get away with just making a baseless claim without their proof before you had posted the scam, mind you. Azazel easily wins this by the fact that Kay and Sarah did not have the sixth sense to actually respond to something when they were cut off. They quite clearly should have just said, please don't cut me off, and not to count that. Any logical debater would have known to do this. Amateur.
James, the problem that I find with that is I actually did not cut them off. I can grab the recording for this. They stated that I waited. I know I waited because I was in DMs texting Comic Related. Comic Related, our DMs can attest for this. I waited for them to finish, and I said I was grabbing the scan. I sent it. I said that is a suit, and then I was trying to finish it, and you asked me to stop.
You said it twice. You said it before the scan was posted too.
I know. But that was still after I waited for them to finish.
That's what I'm referring to. And no, Sarah kept talking after that. So also, we can't
ginormous breath.
Also, Azazel, we can't look at the recording.
Yes, we can. Yonko has it.
No, we can't. Yonko's not here.
James, can I ask a question?
Yonko's not here. He left.
James, can I ask a question, please?
Go ahead, Kay.
So, like, basically, I don't see the point of this whole discussion. I don't see the point of this whole argument right now because he's saying that he never finished. Wait, hold on. He's saying that he never capped Moon Knight's AP and neither did CR, but me and Sarah didn't cap Batman or Slade's AP either. As when I first started off my scans, I stated that Batman shot gauntlets can absorb energy, and I also stated that Slade's Prometheum sword, which would be an edge weapon, can also absorb limitless amounts of energy. So limitless wouldn't have a cap. And I also noted that T'Challa's primary attack, his primary way to attack people, from range would be to fire kinetic energy blast or even use kinetic energy and disperse it as an attack, which Slade or Batman could simply absorb, which would amplify their own attacks, which I've already shown evidence of. And I also stated that Batman's shot gauntlets could be augmented as well, and I sent that scan.
Quick question. So it's
before you let that finish, James, I'd like to point out that that's not my argument. That's not my argument. I know. No, hold on. So that proves my opponent has no idea what I'm talking about right now.
No. What I'm saying is that we can say the same exact thing that you're saying, that you didn't cap what you did, and neither did we.
That's not what I'm saying, James. This proves my point. That's not my point, and you know it.
Okay,
this proves my opponent has no idea what they're fighting.
And then we can just hopefully come to it.
My bad. Go ahead. I just want that on recording because that's not my argument.
Let me put it like this. Let me say this. While what you're saying would be functionally true, that isn't the argument that's being presented right now. Though I understand the position that you're coming from. The position that Kay is coming from is that you and Sarah are building an argument based off another argument that is not completed. As such, the conclusion that you come to can never be appropriate because the prior argument was not finished. You can't have complete knowledge about what was about to be said because you didn't get
do not interrupt when they're talking.
He's not done.
Continue.
Go ahead, Related.
Oh, you're not done, CR? Oh,
no, sir.
Done. My fault.
No problem.
I'll be right back, guys.
Also, James, my bad, real quick, CR,
No,
because
hold on.
James said he wasn't in here.
Azazel, allow Comics Related to finish.
This is about the recording of the debate line.
Well,
James, he's still in here.
let Comics finish first, and then go with that.
The
Continue.
nature of what's being contended right now is that the premise, or is that the foundation of your premise is faulty. As such, the premise itself is faulty and cannot be proven. What Azazel was just saying in your addressing what you just addressed, in the manner that you addressed it, is demonstrative of the fact that you are not, and I say this respectfully, not understanding of the argument he put forth as a refutation. His refutation is not that we did not establish a cap for our characters, in the sense of how you were referencing that the shot gauntlets can be augmented and that Slade's staff can absorb energy, etc. His argument is that he established a base for Moon Knight and was prepared to go further, but was not allowed to. And therefore, if you whatever strength that you establish, whatever AP that you establish can never truly be demonstrative of being being higher than Moon Knight's AP, because you do not know how high he was going to demonstrate Moon Knight's AP. Therefore, the premise and the foundation are faulty. You can't come to a true consensus because you don't have the information.
Okay.
Well, CR, is that the end of what you were saying?
Right.
Hold on. I was just told that I could go for the sake of not only the recording, but also the sake of what I was trying to finish saying. James, Yonko never left. He still has the recording going.
He said he left. That's why I was confused. He said he left.
No, he was speaking as in like he spiritually left this shit because he heard something that he disagreed with. Like if you look in the event scans, he literally says he never left. He's the recording still going. And my recording still going also. But like I was about to say, James, like I was saying before, what's it called? Kay and everybody went over thing. This proves that not only was my opponent not tracking my argument correctly, I'm not about to sit there and fully hold it against him, but this does show a level of validity within my argument. And I hope you're aware of that.
Kind of, but I still disagree. All right, first off.
Oh man.
It's literally wow. James, I have a clip of you using this exact same argument on YouTube.
All right. Okay. For two. For one.
James, am I allowed to answer your Comics-Related said real quick?
For one, Kate, chill. I'm about to respond to Comics.
Okay.
Because Comics, the reason why your conclusion is both just as invalid as theirs would be is because you also assume a conclusion that you don't know either.
What, Mr. Daly?
We're assuming off we're going off what they present as their premise.
I don't think that's fair. Not only do I not think it's fair, I think that's true. But I don't want to waste too much time. We presented first. We set the stage first. Yes, my premise was what I said specifically is I do not believe that they will be able to demonstrate this level of attack potency at base. But even if, because I was careful with these words, I'm pretty sure I said that even if they did match our base attack, that they would not be able to exceed the augmented attack. We would still be able to climb higher. So I believe that my premise is still solid, sir.
The problem is, though, is that there's a leeway for this, and there's an easy one I can point out. I'm going to present something specifically to you, ComicsRelated. Okay, hypothetically, if they were to say from here, okay, now Batman scales to Superman, who scales above Toa and the One Above All. Would that therefore mean that they're stronger than the highest form of the Moon Knight? Is that hypothetically a possibility that they could reach that conclusion? Yes. Therefore, we can't say by absolute that something can be cancelled out like that.
But
because
sir,
James, I disagree with that in nature.
One moment. Go ahead. My bad. If Mr. Daly does not agree with this, then I will have nothing else to say. While I understand the information you're putting forth, what I would say is this. If they did put the information out there, not saying that they can, but if they were like that Batman scales to Superman and Superman scales above the One Above All, and that would be higher than Moon Knight, etc., the nature of what's in contention here is not whether or not what they're saying is true in regards to their overall scaling, but the premise behind it of it being higher than Moon Knight. They don't know. They don't have a reference point, which we didn't get a chance to give. As such, they can't come to that conclusion.
But then
You
would
see
you
what I'm
be?
saying?
But then would you be considering what you originally said?
But
James,
sir, I
to
don't.
put this on record. I'm willing to
Right.
sit here and say that I can get if I need to, I can get Conchu above Toa. Come on now.
Oh, I guess
that might be possible. That might be
it's
possible.
not. It's
You
not that
said
I'm
what,
willing to
James?
concede.
You said what, James?
One moment, Azazel. One moment, please. One moment. It's not that I'm willing to concede that point because I've framed my premise in a way to avoid this kind of contention. I said that I don't believe that they would be able to demonstrate something. What I didn't say is that Black Panther and Slade are significantly more powerful. I said that the AP that we demonstrate, I do not believe that they would be able to match. And if they manage to match the base AP, they will not be able to match the augmented AP. That was that was our premise, not the premise of them what they've come with of them being flat out stronger. How can they demonstrate that if they don't know?
But then your use of belief system comes from an unknowing part because you don't have a point to say that you said you believe they won't reach this, but you have no reason to if we're going off just as a perspective of that debate because they haven't spoken on their scaling yet. Which brings me to the same thing. Both of you said at one point that you believe that Moon Knight is equal, or Moon Knight and Black Panther are equal, if not above, Slade and Batman. And both of you were talking from a perspective of unknowingness from their scaling because you didn't know where they were going to scale.
Hold on, James. I was not.
Bro.
You're not actually about to sit here and say I was talking to that. Since they hadn't scaled, I was not talking about what they could have done. I was talking about the characters and where I believe them to be. On top of that, that was at a base. Hold on, please let me finish, James. That was at a baseline. I was talking at a baseline. My upper scale of where Moon Knight would be associated had not been clarified since I had been stopped.
Okay.
So that what you're saying could not have been true.
And in that same realm, you still made a claim that they could easily make in relevance back. They have not reached, they may not reach that point, or they are going to reach a point that is so far beyond, or they are going to scale your character for you. They could do all of these things.
I'm willing to concede to the judge. Like I think we should
I think James is arguing for them more than they're arguing for themselves. But James has already said he's seen both in light, and he's basically pardoning them. So I'm fine with that.
Fine. Then let's
because that's still a point for us regardless. So I'm still taking.
Let's try to address. I think that we've taken too much time on this particular topic. That's unfortunate. I apologize for that. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go back to a few things and try to address as much as I can. The premise of one of the things that they were referencing was that Superman hit Apex Lex as hard as he could without holding back. This is inaccurate to the character's overall ability and his overall consistency. Man, every time I leave the damn thing, I can't go back to it. Where the heck? Thank you.
Raw, still taking W's.
So let's consider for a moment if we take into account Superman 2016. 1 second, or maybe it was 2018. 2018. It's 2018. I think that it is most likely issue 16. But if it is not, you guys don't hold that against me because I will find it for you. Just give me 1 moment. This is not correct. Okay, I was wrong.
I'm gonna have to switch to my phone. Can you all wait a sec?
What'd you say? What did James say?
James said he has to switch to his phone. You got to give him a second.
No problem. That gives me time to look this up real quick.
Back
Is
up.
James back?
Sarah, it would not be on me that I decided to stop my argument. It'd be on the fact that I respected the judge. So please, chat, and
You
please
ain't
stop
respecting
chilling
her no
around.
more for that anymore.
Hey, James, do you think I'm being disrespectful to you? James? Because I'm pretty sure he's
James,
going to say no.
I don't know what the heck's wrong with him. Azazel, I'm not even being serious.
He
Please.
says
I
James.
don't
James
care
Bailey
if you're
said that my
not.
mic
Yeah, he
was
said his
working.
mic's not working. I don't care if you're not being serious because debate-wise, I'm not taking this serious at all. I see you as a
I'm
non-threat.
glad
So
neither am I.
you're a non-threat.
It's
Kay's
kind of
the
a
only,
silly thing.
Kay's the only
kind of
person
silly
you're
to fall
doing
back
so.
on.
I will reiterate what I said before. Do not
Yo,
make
why y'all gotta
comments
disrespect
That
my
towards
was
each
guest?
other.
that was
Word.
not disrespectful, Lion.
Okay.
I
No.
spoke my mind.
Hold on. It doesn't matter. It's naturally going to escalate. So just don't do it at all. Just keep it to the debate. If y'all want to talk shit after, do it. But do not do anything that would escalate y'all getting into a full out argument or a
You
fight.
right.
Just
My
leave it
bad.
alone.
I apologize.
Hold on. If she's talking shit in the comments, let her talk shit in the comments. If he's talking shit in the comments, let him talk shit. Just don't do it. As of right now, keep the shit to the debate.
Yeah.
James, I do have a question real quick though. Do you feel that I've disrespected you at all?
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've known each other for like 3
hold
years.
on. Then that's the end of it. Okay, y'all continue.
All right.
I just think
James, what were you gonna say
careful.
Is
before you
James back now?
disconnected? Yeah, James is back now. Or was it CR saying something? I think it was CR.
I was saying
My
something.
fault. Go ahead.
Is Mr. Daly back?
Yes.
Okay. So they on a number of occasions, specifically Kay, if I remember correctly, were using the idea of exactly how hard Superman hits certain characters, and certain statements like Superman not holding back. One of the things we have to remember about Superman in general is how much he holds back, and the nature of who he is as a character. For example, we can look here where Superman was fighting Mongol, and he was fighting pretty seriously. And in this scan, he explains that prior to this moment, he hit Mongol with his best shot. But then later on in the next issue, I believe, when he's fighting Mongol, the power that he's putting out is cracking planets. So clearly, Superman did not hit Mongol with his best shot. I don't think that it's necessary for me to bring up this scam, but I absolutely will do it. I think it's a pretty popular scam of Superman when he escaped the planet with the World Forger and destroyed it. And this was a significantly weakened Superman, a Superman on a planet that was designed to kill him and limit his access to sunlight. But with enough focus and effort, he was able to obliterate the planet simply by jumping off of it. So the idea that we can look at what Superman was doing in some of those other scans and say that those were these characters were able to withstand blows from Superman if he was hitting as hard as he could is unreasonable. So, but I do recognize that the characters in question are still very powerful, but I want to make sure that that it's understood that what we're not going to do is assume that any of those characters struck by Superman are durable enough to take a hit from Superman if he was going truly all out, because we can tell that he was not. Now, another thing to address, let's look at, we've addressed the Superman point, and I do recognize that partially this is my fault due to the nature of what was being said, or due to the conversation that we were having with Mr. Daly. One of the things that Sarah mentioned is Deathstroke being consistent to Superman. One of them having to do with his icon suit, but Deathstroke doesn't use the icon suit anymore. It was destroyed. So I don't see any reason to even entertain that unless Miss Sarah can demonstrate that Deathstroke has the icon suit now, which he does not. also, more importantly, if we're going to do that, this is creating kind of a false sense of a false consistency for Deathstroke, because the different suits that he wears offers him different abilities. We do know that the Icon suit allowed him to absorb kinetic energy in a similar way to Black Panther's suit and augment his abilities. But there's no reason to take that into account if that is not what he is using right now. In fact, what we established at the very beginning of this debate is that we were using them at their most consistent. And Deathstroke only used the Icon suit for a very specific run. Then it was destroyed. He does not use it anymore. So any feats for Deathstroke regarding his Icon suit don't make sense to be used because they're not consistent within the character. Another thing to approach, let's see, which one is this? What the hell is this? One moment, please. I'd like to address the argument that she was making regarding Apex Lex. I think that the entire, and this is directly to you, Judge, you can make the ruling on it. I think the entire argument that she made for consistency regarding Apex Lex should be thrown out because it contradicts her position that she was making for Thanos in regards to once you get hit off guard once, you will naturally and logically be on guard for the subsequent hits. That's what she said for Apex Lex, but she did not this idea for Thanos. So I think the argument in its entirety should be thrown out. And before I pass it off to Azazel, and I will address other things if necessary.
I will say that he is very accurate with that, James.
Let's see. Let's see.
Third party?
What?
What's that? Put my remote at?
Was that a third party?
He was not third. He's the host of this. He's allowed to insert his opinion.
No, it wasn't even an opinion. It's an observation.
I know, but please don't, Mr. Host. Please do not,
brother. I don't think that it would be. I don't think that it would be reasonable for you to
sportsmanship like
note your observations, sir.
Yeah,
it is your house, and I mean you no disrespect inside your own server.
No. You're good. You're good.
So actually, Mr. Daly, if I could have your perspective on the last part of what I just said. After that, I would pass it to Azazel.
My perspective.
I'd actually like you to get
you reviewed everything well
first.
No, I'm just saying I do believe that the argument that Sarah made around Apex Lex should be thrown out, given that it's an argument that was in contradiction to her argument.
You present a strong argument. I'm really interested to hear if there is a rebuttal. And if not, I have nothing to say.
Related. I'm actually at the moment. I don't really feel the need to add anything in right now, because most of the once this is thrown out the window, a lot of things also go with it. It's kind of like throwing a chain out the window. So I'd like to see their response first.
I understand.
So can I?
Hey, should I? I think I can take this guy.
Nah, you could take. I'm not gonna attack. I was just gonna attack what he said regarding Batman. Like I wasn't gonna attack the Deathstroke stuff.
Go ahead.
All right. I said something for a second. I mean, yeah, you attacked. You were talking about how Superman didn't hit Apex Lex with his full capacity, and that was like in a scan where Batman affected Apex Lex. But
yes, I just don't believe that I said anything specifically for Batman. I was attacking, but I understand what the nature of what you're saying.
Yeah, that was my fault. I should have worded that better. That's my fault. Hold on, let me just find the scan. This shit is mad far up. Jesus Christ. All right. So, firstly, to start off, I just want to attack your Apex Lex statement. So you said that Superman never hit Apex Lex with his full capacity or his full capability, which I would say, based off what the book is telling us, Apex Lex literally says verbatim, I've always wondered what it would feel like to be hit by you when you weren't holding back. So,
this is true.
Just because, so I feel like at that point, you're just arguing with what the book is telling you. Even if you think that Superman has better showings of strength or AP, that's perfectly fine. All I'm saying is
Mhm.
Apex Luck is quite literally saying Superman isn't holding back. And you also admitted yourself that Superman is still incredibly strong. So the nature of what you're saying by you saying that is kind of irrelevant at this point. So you already admitted that Superman is an incredibly strong person. And we also see that he hit Apex Lex through several buildings and he gets up perfectly fine. And then that doesn't defeat my argument. Hold on, wait, let me finish. Hold on.
No, I was actually going to ask you if I could offer you some encouragement here.
I don't really think I need it, but
fair enough.
I would
fair enough.
And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I just really
I understand. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so I don't think that this really defeats anything that I said about Batman's shot gauntlets being able to affect Apex Lex. Also, I want to note again that we never capped our AP as well regarding Batman and Slade. Again, as no one said that was your argument. I'm just saying that I never capped.
That was my argument. That's not what I just said, Kay.
Allow Kay to finish. Just continue, Kay.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I was going to say about the Apex Lex scenario. Sarah, if you want to jump in, you can jump in now.
Okay, so I'm going to address everything that, like literally everything that CR says. Sorry, I had to grab a scan to prove something. Okay, so one, CR, you said that because Superman has hit people like Mongol or whatever, or more durable people, that he can't possibly be hitting as hard as he can against Apex Lex. But what I want to reiterate is that Apex Lex is amped by possibly the top 3 strongest beings in DC at that particular moment in time. And so I believe that he would. So he Apex Lex would be able to withstand a Honor Train hunt from.
Kay, why you do it to yourself?
I also think that if you are claiming that he couldn't, you would have to like scale Apex Lex's durability below them or Mongols above him. I don't really care. You'd have to prove that he has worse a Dura, sorry. And I didn't say that Deathstroke was consistently able to fight Superman. I said that he could consistently stagger him. Now, real quick, I want to. Where is it?
Hold on. Let me correct Sarah real quick. She said that she said both. She said that Deathstroke could consistently affect Superman and stagger him.
Attaboy, Kay. Attaboy.
There we go. The save. The save.
Yeah, because Sarah, you didn't say that, but she did say that she hold on, she's still right. She did say stagger, but she corrected herself.
It don't matter to me as long as we have it. Hold on.
Both,
I just need
and then revised it now.
Yeah.
Where's the...
Go ahead, Sarah.
Which can still be held at the rhetorical standpoint.
Okay, so most recently, oh wait, do I want to say that next? Yeah, so most recently, Deathstroke has been stated twice to have the icon as base. Most recently, he's most recently stated to have icon as base. You also stated that it's not really consistent for his character, but actually he has the icon suit longer than he actually has the Prometheum, or longer than he has had more appearances than he's had in the Prometheum suit. Here's the where's the other one? You stated that his suit was broken. Can you send that?
Ma'am, I think that in this particular instance, it's your burden to prove that he has the icon suit.
Okay, but you stated that it was broken, and can you substantiate that?
Sure, I would be willing to substantiate that, ma'am. However, I've already put the burden on you to show that he has the suit.
That is the truth.
Because
I was just about to say that.
You yourself have already acknowledged that Deathstroke wears multiple suits. The burden currently is on you to demonstrate that he has the suit currently.
Thank you. Can you send it being broken?
If he sends
no, ma'am.
Right back to his turn.
Oh, you're not going to? Okay.
Hold on.
So
Sarah,
what
it doesn't matter. Sarah, it doesn't matter.
Mel, it goes right back to his turn.
I know.
That you'd be cutting to him. So please finish.
Sarah, just send the scan that he still has it, because they're just wrong.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
so
you have to entertain this.
Anyway.
Actually, I'll beat you to it. Hold
You
on.
claim that the suit was broken. Oh wait, do I have the scan? I think I have it ready.
I got it. I sent it already.
Okay,
So this is the last.
that's the one. Okay, so it doesn't really. Well, technically, do I have to prove it? I guess it would have
Yes,
to.
just keep going.
A second. I thought I had it saved. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay, so in the issue
Kay,
that
can you
Superman.
explain what that is supposed to be?
Oh no, I'm going to use that. Don't worry about it.
It's not exactly what he's saying.
I do that. That's definitely need to worry about it because Kay just said that he sent something. What are you sending me right now?
Something for my argument.
Yeah, it's regarding what's our. Oh, you want? Okay,
never mind. Go ahead, rock out, sir. Let's do it.
Yes,
I got you.
Related. I'm telling you, courtesy goes nowhere at this point.
Nah, I'll answer what it is. So essentially, this is the end of Deathstroke's Rebirth run, the last issue, which is issue number 50. It basically ends with Deathstroke.
That's what the
Yeah.
Sarah, we can't hear you. Kay is talking.
Sarah. Yeah, let me finish, Sarah, and then you can just finish up your argument. I just want to add to your argument. I want to make it stronger. So, CR, again, this is the last issue of his Rebirth run. He finished off his Rebirth run in the Icon suit. Again, he's in this last page. He said the legend continues. And also, you're referring to it being broken. It was broken by Superman in their fight in the beginning stages of the run. And it fixed, and he was functional in it towards the end of the run as well. And he had it fully operational. And again, in the last issue, he puts the Icon suit on and he walks out of his door, and then it says the legend continues. And he never actually lost the Icon, so he still has it.
Okay,
it's never been destroyed.
Your
it's been
mic kind of
but
messed up a little bit. Can you repeat that? Like midway,
Where
like
did you
in
last?
the, like in the
hear?
middle of in the. I heard the end of it. It's just around somewhere in the middle. Your mic messed up, and I couldn't understand what you were saying. Can you repeat that real quick, please?
All right, I'll just. Nah, you're good. I'll just repeat the whole thing. So essentially, what I'm saying is, CR, his Icon suit was broken earlier in his run, and then it was repaired, and then he had it at the end of his run, and it was functional. So he still has the Icon because it was never destroyed at the end of the run. So he still has it. And sorry, you can continue now. That's all I wanted to say. And CR, that scan is just the last page of his run, which is from issue number 50. If you want,
I understand, sir. No problem.
Yeah. So yes, Sarah, you can you continue now.
So, as Kay said,
but actually, I'm sorry, I don't understand. I'd like to ask this question just for clarification. Is this to prove that Deathstroke is using the Icon armor now?
Consistently.
This is the proof that this is what he uses consistently.
Huh?
We're not arguing current. We're arguing consistent.
My bad. You kind of responded consistently after he said now. That was a little bit interesting. My fault. But yeah, Kay, what'd you say? Near the end of that, you added something in. What was it?
Oh no, I was just adding to CR that this is the last, the scan that I sent is the last page of Deathstroke's last issue in the Rebirth run, and that
I understand, sir.
All right.
Yes, yeah, that's not. I was just repeating it for Azazel.
Of course, but I guess what I want to make sure is one of the things that I've tried to establish repeatedly is that Deathstroke does not have the Icon suit currently. He does not. It is not the suit that he uses the most consistently, and one of the things that I was trying to make sure that you guys were answering, because it is part of my reputation, is that he does not have it now, and is the information that you guys put forth to support the idea that he has it now.
Okay.
Well, okay, go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, wait. Are you going to...
Related, is that...
Was that a question, PR, or a
recommendation? Yes, that is what I would like to know. Does he have the suit right
now? It's a question. Kay, you want to answer, or me?
If you want me to answer, I'll answer it. It's up to you. I don't really care.
Right. Okay, so I'm just going to reiterate what the argument was, which is that when Superman broke the suit, right, that was prior to Deathstroke's completed run. So after it was broken, he had it fixed and continued to use it throughout his run. As now he used to also in Teen Titans, in the Teen Titans annual, which was released in 2021. And I'm going to repeat that he uses the Icon more than he uses a Prometheum suit, and that the Prometheum suit, is part of the Icon in the first place. So it would still technically, if you want to be technical, be the Prometheum suit. So he
No.
does consistently use his feet. We're not going off of current, by the way, because
I would definitely like
find-
substantiation that the Icon armor and the Prometheum suit are the same suit, please.
I'd just like to repeat. I mean, continue, but gee, you made me lose my train of thought.
Also, while Sarah's never mind. Go ahead. You got
No,
it.
I was just going to say that because we're going by base consistent and not base current, which is what you said, right? That him not having it right now would be irrelevant as long as I can prove that as long as it's true that he used it more consistently Prometheum, which he has. He's used it in more eras and had more appearances in it than the Prometheum, so it would be considered more consistent than the Prometheum suit. And he has. It's been stated twice, like I said, to be the current suit that he uses or the suit that he has. And he stated that the suit and the armor are Prometheum. So
Also, I just want. Oh, Sarah, you're not done. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. If you weren't done. All right, finish.
yeah, I was just gonna say that. Even oh shoot, my bad. I was just gonna say that recent Slate in the first place has not been base, as we know that he's been older and weaker, right? We also know that he was amped by the Lazarus pit, right? And then killed again. He doesn't even have his stuff right now, so we can't really go off of what he's using currently right now because currently he's dead.
I also like some substantiation to the idea that
I'd like
he's
to
weaker.
address that. I'd like to address that real quick. So a very interesting thing that you said at the end of that was that he currently doesn't have his equipment right now, so we can't go off of that. But were you not holding issue 19 against me a couple seconds ago, even though that is
No,
very
she's
inconsistent?
No.
You
She's
dropped that
saying
line
that
of
he
healing
was.
those
Wait,
weeks.
hold
That's what you said.
on. Wait, Sarah, let me answer this for you
Go ahead,
because you're hold on. Azazel, she's referring to. I don't know if you read Dark Crisis, correct?
Mhm.
She's referring to how at the end of Dark Crisis, Deathstroke is basically a noodle and he's dead, and we're debating for Deathstroke. Well, he's not dead, but he's in like a capsule and he can't do anything. He's drained of his serum and he's drained of the darkness.
In
So
the current run of issue
technically,
19, Khonshu is being drained of his power. But in what you guys are calling into, what that exact thing, you guys tried to use that to justify by saying that he lost the majority of his abilities and the ability for Khonshu to possess his body.
Bingo.
And sure, I did address this and I did debunk you. However, you tried to hold the exact thing against me, but now you're saying it can't be held against your character. I'd like to know why.
Agreed.
So you want to
well,
answer
you just said
or me?
yourself. Okay, go ahead, Sarah. Go
Go ahead.
Okay, so you had countered that argument. I'm literally countering the argument that you made, right? That is not
I did not
current
make
or
an
whatever.
argument. And
No,
I do not
ma'am.
remember.
No,
No,
ma'am.
that's
I do not
not
Azazel,
remember.
if you wouldn't mind, Azazel, let me make sure that let me make sure this is clear. One of the things that you specifically said to Azazel is that Moon Knight does not have access to Khonshu. You were talking about the nature of him being imprisoned, but currently you are making the argument about consistency and not consistency current. Much like another argument you made, the argument that you used to try to debunk one of the things that we said is in contradiction to what you're using now. As such, I am of the opinion that you should not be able to use it. You can continue to make the point, but I am going to appeal to the judge that the point should be irrelevant because you yourself don't agree with it. You suggested that powers of Moon Knight were not what they were because at current or during that specific point in time, Khonshu was imprisoned, which is not what he always is. But right now, you're making the argument that even though Deathstroke may or may not currently have the suit, that is not how he should be judged. So your points, your arguments are in contradiction to each other.
Hold on, I just want to. Okay, let me respond to that, Sarah, I got it. So, essentially, the nature of what's happening here is like I'm aware of what our original or what we attempted to say to debunk the issue with Moon Knight, where like Khonshu stated that he's in prison, that he can't revive Moon Knight. Sorry. We never once you guys refuted what we said, we actually never contended it again because we agreed with that logic. So now what we're doing in this scenario is we're using that same logic that you guys used in that scenario.
Yes, but I guess what I'm saying is
I can address that related. I can address that related. So you cannot say you're using the exact same line of logic that
I wasn't. Wait, hold on. I wasn't
done. You commented on my bad.
No, you're good.
Go ahead.
No, you're good. So yeah, and again, like I said, current Deathstroke is essentially dead, and we're debating for Deathstroke. So it would make no sense to use Deathstroke when he was dead. And we also cannot, well, not we also, you guys cannot prove that Deathstroke doesn't have the icon somewhere. Like, this is consistent that Deathstroke can, hold on, let me send scans. Hold on. I'm going to send in a scan because it's consistent with Deathstroke's character. And CR, you said this earlier, it's consistent with his character to change armors. And we also agreed at the beginning of this debate that we were arguing base consistent, right? So if Deathstroke has more appearances in the icon armor, and we know for a fact that Deathstroke can just change armors whenever he wants, and I'll also send a scan substantiating that he can just change armors wherever he wants, just to add to my argument and strengthen it. Let me just grab that scan for you real quick, just so we're on the same page. Hold on. So here it is. So this is also from Deathstroke's 2016 run, the Rebirth run. So yeah, we also, in the scan, he says, I switched the icon suit because you found an edge against it to Batman when he encounters Batman in the Batcave. And the reason why he switched it is because, as I don't know if you guys read the run, but Batman was able to pierce through it with like a specific weapon that he has. So Deathstroke changed his suit purposefully and went to fight Batman in his regular Promethean gear. So we know already that Deathstroke can consistently change his gear. And we also cannot, what?
I said, can you send proof of that, please?
Oh, I just sent a scan of Deathstroke saying
I'll take it, Azazel. I'll take it. Let him have it.
Hold on.
Oh, you'll take it?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yep. Yeah. No, I'll handle it. Go for it, Kay. Also, while you're talking, I still would like Sarah to substantiate the idea that the icon armor and the Promethean armor are the same armor.
And while that is being stated, we're not done with our contradictive logic point either. We still need to review that.
What's that?
Okay, that's fine. So essentially, what I'm saying is if we know that Slade can consistently change his armor, is everybody? Hold on, what's going on? Are we listening? Or is that
someone came into the room. I was just greeting them. I apologize for interrupting.
No, you're good.
I have a question about what you're saying because you've said it like twice or three times now. And I'm gonna get to your.
Hold on. I'm gonna get to your question in one moment. Okay. Just let me finish real quick. Okay, so we know that Deathstroke can change his gear whenever he wants, and we also know that the icon wasn't that it's currently not destroyed. He still has the icon. So it would be impossible for you guys to prove that he, in fact, doesn't have the icon anymore, which is what you guys said. You guys said he doesn't have it anymore. So that would also be impossible for you to prove. Now you can ask your questions.
So I have two questions. One, it was actually stated by your partner that he no longer has the suit anymore. Two, and we were just playing
her on that. I corrected her on that. Yeah, I corrected her on that because she meant
very cool, but it was stated 3 times by your partner, or repetitively, and you only corrected her the first time. You did not correct the second and the third. Not to mention Kay, you keep saying he can change his gear. Do you mean are you saying like at the beginning of the debate he can switch what he wants to put on, or in the middle of the debate he can switch to a new? Like what are you saying? Because you keep saying change his gear. I don't understand what you mean by that because you enter the battle in gear unless you can switch it out with another one.
Azazel,
I completely got you. I got you.
What's up?
Let me say this. If we end up going with,
can I answer this question real quick?
One moment, please, sir. I promise I will give it to you. Azazel, if we end up going with the icon suit, please let it ride. And we discussed this.
I know. I'm sorry. It's a natural habit of mine. You know it. But yeah, go ahead, Kay.
Wait, hold on. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to put this on speaker. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. So Zazel, what your question was, you said, can you just change gear throughout battle?
No, I was asking if that's what you were saying, not can.
Oh, no, that's not what I was saying. What I was saying is, being that we are arguing base consistent and what the character is most consistently in, and the fact that Deathstroke has the most appearances in his icon armor, it would be logical to assume that he would show up in his icon armor for this fight.
Okay. Related.
And we've also provided 2 statements. The first scan is a guidebook statement that is from 2019. The second statement is from this year that we just left, 2022, in the DC Encyclopedia. And both of those statements state that he has the icon. So
okay, so related. Do you mind if I take the contradictive logic point and kind of use that as a battering ram at the moment?
Rock it out, sir. I know I was gonna attack it, but if you want to attack it,
actually we can tag team it. I'll throw on the first part, throw my part, and then you can pick up after it. How about that?
Let's do it.
Okay. So, Kay, earlier you said that we agreed on using base and consistent. Now, I would agree that this is something we agreed to. However, this would actually prove there's contradiction, a foundational contradiction in you guys' logic, given to the fact that you tried to use Moon Knight's current appearance and current weaknesses as a battering ram against my character. So, would this not prove there's some type of contradictive logic that you guys are trying to apply, a double standard, if you will? Related. You can pick up off that if you want.
Oh,
I
can
do
answer
agree
that
with.
question,
I do
or-
with. One moment, please, sir. I do agree with that because while you did already address the nature of you guys accepting our logic and then not refuting it
Yeah.
again, the point that I'm making right now is you guys already don't agree with this kind of thing. As such, it makes no sense to me that you would be able to use it again. And if you are allowed by the judge to use it again, then you would have to support the idea that it can be done. Now, one of the things that you guys have referenced repeatedly is that Deathstroke uses the icon armor more than he uses other armors. Now, the Deathstroke 2016 Rebirth run is where the icon armor was introduced, and it was introduced, if I remember correctly, in issue number 4 up to issue 50. There are a few crossover over issues with Deathstroke during that time frame where he may have been using the icon suit. An example of this is during his one of the conflicts he had with Superman. But the overall point, actually, I think it was it was introduced during the New 52 through Rebirth, but definitely the issue 4. The point is that Deathstroke's first appearance was back in 1980. The icon armor was introduced during 2016, at earliest 2012. So if you're suggesting that Deathstroke has had significantly more appearances in that suit than any other type of suit, you would need to prove that. Because the reality of the situation is, if we look at, and I will put these in the scan or in the servers right now. If we look at Deathstroke 2021, which I believe is called Deathstroke Inc. or something to that effect, Deathstroke does not use the icon armor. He uses something else. And if we look at, I think it's Dark Crisis. Oh man, do I not have that one? If necessary, I'll go ahead and get it.
I want to bring this up real quick. We're down to 10 minutes for James.
I'll leave it at that. But everybody here has read Dark Crisis. The point being right now is that we know that Deathstroke is not using the icon armor currently, which is an issue that you guys brought up earlier. You say that he can switch in and out of his suit. One of the things that you specifically said was whenever he wants. You would need to substantiate that he could change suits in the middle of battle in that way. Otherwise, he'd have to come into the battle in the icon armor. However, if you cannot establish that it is more consistent than every other armor he's worn, given that he came out in 1980, then you would be incorrect. And he would go back to a different armor that's not the icon suit, and it would steal throughout any scans that Sarah made during the time that she was using the icon suit or substantiating his abilities with feats in the icon suit. So the point still remains. The point that the contention that we're making still remains is you guys are using contradictory logic. As such, you shouldn't be able to make the point. Or if you are going to make the point, then you'll need to substantiate proof that Deathstroke does use the icon armor more than any other armor, which I don't think you can do, given that he has 50 minus 4 is 46. 46 at minimum, perhaps 70 issues with it at most, given that it only came out during the Rebirth run.
Can I say something real quick, because this is playing on James's time? Sarah, Kay, related, we can do a couple things. Actually, no, I forgot Sarah's leaving when James leaves, so we need James to kind of judge this now, and then since I do have the direct quote for what you guys' premise was, we can play that point. That's what James wanted to clear this up in the final piece of it, and depending on what James says, that debate can either be ended or postponed. So James, do you want to do your magical thing?
From my perspective, I would rather it end than postpone. It doesn't make much sense to postpone, only because
Okay.
I feel like when you separate debates by like full days, if not weeks, I feel like a lot of things can change. For example, people can do more research, things like that, which can kind of change the battlefield of the debate. You had a set amount of time to do the research you did. You had a set amount of time to argue. You knew this. I don't think we should go ahead and try and extend things and change it.
Perfectly fine with that. Do you mind judging this, James, and then giving me
That's
the quote
unfortunate.
that you asked for
I can
earlier?
judge.
Well, we have to refute. We have to refute what you guys said first before he judges.
You guys have actually had more talking time than us, but I'm fine with that.
No. I'm willing to.
Yeah, no, that's why I said I'm fine with it.
Yeah, Sarah, you can go ahead. Sarah, go ahead. Sarah.
It was like you might have 2K.
Nah, Sarah was gonna take it. I don't know.
Bro, I'm sorry, Kyrie can't help LeBron.
James,
You guys make
James.
it.
By the way, did you want conclusions? Did you want proper conclusions, James?
I don't need them.
Oh, okay. Whew,
I've been writing it.
Man, I haven't even addressed all the stuff they said.
Bro, I haven't even gotten into Moon Knight fully. I got
no. I'm talking about just refuting all of their points. I don't think we've had a proper chance to do that. But it's going to be what it's going to be. Ma'am, go ahead.
Thank you. So I'm just gonna hurry up and finish through all this because there are two other points that I didn't want to get to. So, James, correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, you can, but there were multiple times in which CR stated that we're using base consistent. Agreed that he agreed that we're using base consistent, but then still asked for evidence that icon is what he most recently uses. I don't know why. I think if he wants to prove that icon is not what he mostly used, based off of him having.
I feel like there's a level of internal logic here that has to be acknowledged here. I feel like there's a level of internal logic. I feel like when you said base consistent, I don't think you'll talk about base consistent pre-crisis and be taking things like pre-crisis, for example. I don't think that was being taken. And I don't think you thought of that. I don't think anyone here thought of that. I think you're talking base consistent from the perspective of like the most recent iteration.
Yeah, and that's exactly. And in most recent years, the icon is what Deathstroke has worn consistently. Like that's
then there's the like the logic that you're
Mr. Daly. Mr. Daly.
Wait, hold on,
Mr. Daly.
Hold on, wait, hold up. Before CR goes, hold on, Mr. Daly, because I want to say this. Again, they've already admitted that we agreed to their logic because when they rebutted to what we said, we had no rebuttal for that.
That is not what I said.
Well, that's not what I said either. But Mr. Daly,
I'll rephrase. CR said that. CR specifically
that's
said
not
that.
What he said.
Wait, hold on. Let me finish. Mr. James Daly. CR said, he said when in reference to Moon Knight, we tried to use the same logic to kind of debunk what they were saying. Then they refuted what we said. Hold on, let me finish. Then they refuted what we said, right? We had no contentions with their refutation. So that would be us agreeing. Now we're using the same exact logic. So I don't think that the point should be thrown out because of that, because we agreed and we didn't continue to argue that point.
James, I know you get what we're trying to say, but can you let CR go? Please. I need CR to go. I don't even care if I go, but I need CR to go.
I'm bringing this up not in reference to what they were saying, but what you were saying in regards to the internal logic of most recent iterations. If you check their evidence, they are definitely using aspects of Deathstroke that are prior to New 52. So I don't think that the logic holds that we would be using the internal logic of most recent iterations if they are using evidence from things that are not from the most recent iterations.
That makes sense. That's a completely fair point.
Also, James, for the part of what I was talking about earlier in chat, I just sent it. The exact timestamp and everything.
I'm willing to. Shall I just give my conclusions then?
Please do.
Wait, can I say something else or no?
We've barely got an actual ample time to respond to the stuff that you just newly brought up.
I opened up trying to discuss the CR, and I never even got finished with my refutations. And you guys refuted, and then you want to
finish my premise, bro. So I don't think when it comes down to finishing, I don't think this matters. We're on James Daly's time.
Well, here's my thing. Can you say it all in the next 120 seconds?
Yes, I could if I hurry.
Sure.
Knock it out, girl. Do it.
Kill it.
100%. 120 seconds.
Oh, I can go now. Okay.
Go. Yeah. Go.
Several
Okay,
seconds
so
already.
I presented that he used the icon more than Prometheum. You're saying is that he does not, as you want me to prove that it is more consistent. Oh, that the Prometheum is not more consistent icon, which I think would be more
Wasn't what I
reliant on
said,
you
but
doing
keep
so.
going.
Okay, you disregarded the argument that oh my god, you disregarded the argument that Moon Knight can't be affected by Khonshu right now or whatever. And because we have found that we agreed to base consistent, and when you are now trying to bring up things that aren't considered base consistent based off of what's currently going on, we refuted that. It's not my fault that you couldn't refute
That was an
this
argument.
argument against you. And for the Superman feat, you had also said that at some point, CR, you had said that Superman was off guard or something, I think, on the same level as Thanos, or that he suffered against
That's not what he said.
Wait a second,
Rocket
guys.
Sarah.
Wait a second,
Yo, what
guys.
is this?
Apex
What is
Flex, Apex
this?
Flex,
Wait a
Apex
Do not
second.
interrupt her. Let her continue. Hurry up.
Wait a second.
Yes, sir.
I just want to say that Superman had not sustained. I don't even know what freaking scam we're talking about anymore. It's been so long.
Yes, God, I
Superman
did not
hadn't
say that,
sustained
but
any
continue.
damage prior to that, and he was on guard. So I think that it would still count as a standard or APP or a valid APP to use. I think Icon is base because he's used it more, and
Oh, 120 seconds is over, by the way.
Deathstroke can indeed actually
not.
stagger or consistently stagger or affect Wonder Woman or Superman.
James, I have a timer going.
Also,
I'm
just to
done.
add,
22 seconds.
it's impossible for them
You're
to
on
prove
Eaton
that the
time.
icon. Hold on. Also, just to add, it's impossible for them to prove that Deathstroke got rid of his icon armor, as that's not something he would do. And I've also, again, we've sent two skins saying that he still has it. And also, just to add, once again, I've also shown he can change his armor whenever he feels like.
I don't think that you have given any proof that Deathstroke can change his armor in the middle of battle, sir.
No, I said that he can
That
change his
wasn't his
armor.
primary.
Like, that's not what I was
That
saying.
was
I'm saying
never
that
his
he
primary.
No, you did. You did
Yeah.
in fact say Deathstroke
did
can
No,
say
change
I
that.
said
armor.
Not in the middle of the battle.
Indeed,
I'm
my
saying
good man.
I never said it was in the middle of battle. I'm saying he could change his armor like freely, like not in the middle of battle, but he can change what armor he goes into battle in. So it would make
That,
more
I
sense for him to
actually,
go into
I
this
actually
battle
asked you that
with the
question and
armor
you
that
said
he
no.
wears most consistently.
I actually asked you that
Yes,
question
I
and you
did.
said
No, Azazel. So
Mhm.
I'm recording. Like you say, I'm
Exactly.
recording. I said
y'all, can you
he
mind
would
clipping
go
that
into
also,
this battle or
please?
not.
Nor will I take into account.
Recording.
I
didn't hear
hope
what
you know. I hope you know everything y'all said in the last 40 seconds. I did not take into account.
Fair.
Okay. That's fine.
Time's up. Time's up. Now,
Got you.
okay. In the grand scheme of things, y'all didn't get nearly far enough to prove who would win in a fight. This is just fair.
I did. Shit.
I don't think y'all compared. This is also a cross-verse topic, and no cross-verse scaling was done. Only inverse-wise. So I'm just going to judge on who was winning our argument. In one regard, I think Kay ratted really badly, like super badly. Like I would go as far as to say it was super disingenuous, because you saying the whole us not responding to what Azazel said about the whole Khonshu stuff means that we were agreeing. For one, that's ratty because Azazel's argument had nothing to do with whether or not it was consistent. It had to do with two things. One, whether or not he was this strong without it, and two, that this power was still accessible. It had nothing to do with whether or not we were using current versions. So that's rat. Just because you brought it up later when no one remembered doesn't mean it wasn't rat. The other thing is, and the other thing that's far more important to bring up is that throughout this whole argument, there's been a lot of things that have been stated, that have been clearly stated, that y'all haven't refuted. Y'all shift the goalpost a little bit, and then y'all would sit there and say like things that are practically arguments from ignorance. But no one pointed them out, so I'm going to accept them.
We didn't get the
And
chance, James. We've been playing on your time.
In regard to this, though,
I don't know they're terrible debaters, but they just didn't.
Let James finish what he's saying. James.
Okay, for example, if I was to infer stuff, I'd say you lost. If I wasn't, you lose. Because if I was to infer, I'd say things like, okay, you said, well, because this was, you never stated this, I'm right. Which was the whole thing with the Deathstroke stuff and him still not having the form. That's an argument from ignorance. The lack of opposing does not promote your point. It does not help your point. In the same regard, if we don't infer stuff like that, y'all still didn't attack the whole point where CR said, but you brought up stuff from New 52, so you're obviously not talking from end of Rebirth and on. Obviously talking before that point too. Because remember, there's a whole thing before that. And also the 2012 stuff,
growing up. So that brings up that this isn't super recent. And also, I feel like the big confusion, all it's coming from is that y'all weren't specific. But I will say this, that I do think y'all shifted the goalpost because you're saying that, we didn't respond means we agreed, is like the most random and wrong thing ever. Like, what? Y'all didn't respond, so y'all agreed? Is that what we're going off here?
Are you asking, or are you just like
by that same logic, Kate? Honestly, by that same logic, they said at the start of this debate that Black Panther, CR said Black Panther and Moon Knight punch Hunter. You technically never responded to that directly, and by that same logic,
wait, say that again. I couldn't hear you. Say that again. I'm sorry.
To say that non-speaking.
No, before that. You were saying something before that. About like, I'd say somebody punching somebody.
Huh? Punching somebody. Oh, wait, what would you say?
You said Moon Knight punched someone. I didn't hear who you were referring.
No. No, what I'm saying is that by the logic that like not speaking equals agreeing would mean that you agreed with CR when CR said that Moon Knight and Black Panther punch harder.
That also
because you never
premise.
spoke back to that. So silence means agreeing.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Accept that fact.
I see what you're saying. So okay, that's cool.
Just be clear. Like the best thing I could have advised for y'all is just to be clear and just say it. I disagree with that.
I feel what you're saying. Okay, that was
be clear because it comes off really like ratty when you're saying 2 hours later that we agreed with this line of logic when I've been going the whole time assuming that we're going a different route because you never said it.
Yeah, that I completely understand what you're saying. We could have been more clear on our stance after their reputation.
Now, if I had to say, I would say that Azazel and ComicsRelated won that. I don't think it's indicative of who's stronger though.
James.
Batman could still logically be stronger, but I do think it's an actual argument.
Wait, you're saying that they won? You're saying that they won the entire AP point, or they won like
they won
just
this
that
argument, this 3-hour argument? I would say. Yeah, what's up?
The premise quote that I got you fits the requirement that you said earlier. You said if it fitted, I'd win that. I want it, James.
Oh wait, also, James. Just a quick question,
James. I have the recording. You said if I got
it. Wait, Azazel. All right. So, Lion, you said you'd mute Azazel if we get Comey off. Can you mute him? All right.
What? You went quiet.
Azazel, without me doing it, mute yourself right now until they're finished.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Just until they're finished. I love you, Azazel. I hope you enjoyed that.
Wait, James, can I just ask a question really fast?
Go ahead.
Okay, so my question would be like, being that they established that they never capped their AP, and we also established that our AP was never capped because I once again stated Slade sword, which is an edge weapon. Hold on, I said that Slade sword, which is an energy weapon. Which is a piercing weapon. Sorry, that can absorb limitless amounts of energy, which wouldn't have a cap. And I also substantiated that Batman gauntlets could also absorb energy and that they can be augmented. So that wouldn't have a cap either. Okay. So I'm confused how a winner can be determined for the entire AP point if both characters have AP.
Because I can go off who won the debate off of a rhetoric sense. Who won more points, who was winning argumentatively. Okay. Just because you scaled a character high doesn't mean much. Because, for example, let me propose an analogy to you. If I say at the start of the debate, Naruto is universal, and then you proceed to beat the fuck out of me throughout that whole debate, beat everything, but you technically never refute my first claim, and you scale Superman, or you argue Superman's own galaxy level. Do you think that you lost that debate just because you didn't respond to the one thing but beat me the fuck up everywhere else?
In your scenario, I think that I would lose, yes, but I think it's different in this scenario because, again, we never put a cap on it, and they also never attacked us saying they never attacked us that our AP would be capped. So I don't see how they because they didn't attack it.
I'll explain this perspective here. Okay, your aim as a debater is to present a convincing argument to a judge or set of crowd of people. Now, in terms, neither of you proved to want to fight. So realistically, the scaling of the character does not matter. Because it is never used. So all I'm going to go off is the actual arguments that were had and who won the majority of those arguments. And the sad point is that you did not win the majority. Now, in all fairness, I'm not going to say it makes you worse or makes you a horrible person or bad at debating or anything.
In all
No,
fairness,
yeah, it's fine. Listen, I'm chilling.
you're at a disadvantage. You're using Batman. Of course, we're gonna lose. But I'm joking. You're at a disadvantage from the perspective of like you had to do something at the last minute. You had to bring someone that you weren't equipped to argue with, and you weren't ready, which is fair and it's quite clear. But you did well. You argued some points well. I actually think you did win points, just not many.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You did
Where?
You did win points. No, I think you did well, like arguing at points. I do think I actually was a little disappointed how Azazel was arguing first. I think he got better throughout the debate and showed that he was a lot better at points. But I think at the start he wasn't doing as well. So you did well. Don't let that be taken away.
Nah, listen. This is all just like for fun. I don't really like. I'm chilling.
Also, Azazel. So you leave me alone. Yes, you won the point. Please, it's just
You know I won it from beginning. You're just being petty.
Yes, I get it. I just don't want to be messaged for the next 8 hours. Yes, you won.
Listen, you know it. I'm getting my admission. I don't care. You're saying it. You do this every
Nevertheless,
debate.
Mr. Davis, I really
Jihad,
appreciate.
can you cut that from the recording? I don't consent to that last sentence being added.
Nah.
Mr. Daly, I don't want you to lose that money. I think that I really appreciate the fact that you took the time to judge for us.
Let me end OBS. Go ahead, James.
Wait, so James, just to like the final verdict on the debate is that it was inconclusive, but they won the AP section.
Huh?
No, it's a win.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a win in the perspective of the debate, but I don't think we can conclude who wins the
Who
actually wins the fight.
Okay, that's fine. I'm fine with that.
If you want to figure out that decision, you probably have to redebate.